What's advice you've been giving to some riders as they've been walking around?
Well, I was chatting to Andrew Burns, who I worked with from when he was a junior, and he's now based in the States. And he has a very nice scopy horse. So the one thing when you go into a Grand Prix in Hickstead, you need scope. Second thing you need is quality. Third thing you need is carefulness. Fourth thing you need is rideability. And then you need both horse and rider to be top of their game today to come out and win the King George.
Oh, it is such an exciting competition, John. The good news for you is it's downhill to the commentary box from here. We will let you go hot-footed over that way and join Gareth Jenkins.
Thank you, Hannah.
Well, thank you, Hannah. Thank you, John. Welcome, one and all, along for the ride here for the Longines FEI Nations Cup meeting, the British Horse Society's Longines Royal International Horse Show. It is the big one. It is the Grand Prix, the Longines King George V Gold Cup, one of the most historic, valuable and important prizes in equestrian sport. And the packed house here this afternoon, the crowd are out to support some of the best riders in the world. Of course, the best of British are here, but there is some tough competition with riders from across the globe making their way here to the All England Jumping Course at Hickstead for a prize that was first awarded back in 1911. First held, of course, back then, and over the years has seen some of the biggest and greatest names in equestrian sport place their name on the trophy. Until 2008, a male-only affair, but since then it has been open to all. And, well, this year's lineup is stellar. You can see right from the off the big names, the likes of Marcus Enning, one of the greats, gold at every level he's competed at, alongside some of the big British names as well. But some stars of the sport in the modern era. Brian Mulgrave there for the USA. Ludger Beerbohm, a man for the ages, one of the great masters, and what form he's in this year. He won this title previously back in 2002. In there as well, the likes of Brazil looking to try and claim it again. Yuri Mansour winning it a few years ago. Belgium's Olivier Philipparts and the likes of Olivier Robert and Philip Weishaupt for France and Germany. But you've got young British jockey Lily Atwood, certainly one to keep an eye on. Talking of young British jockeys, the man that has shot up the world rankings, he's world number 14. It is Harry Charles, the superstar jockey, looking to follow in his dad's footsteps, who won this back in 2009. And then Kevin Stout, an Olympic gold medalist, a European champion. Joe Stockdale, of course, his dad won this back in 2010, and Joe off to those world championships. Jack Whittaker trying to follow his dad, a four-time winner, Michael, who has won this previously. There's plenty of sons of previous winners, but then the names continue there. The likes of William Funnell, of course, a four-time winner of the Great Derby event here at Hickstead. And plenty more besides them all. The course out there is certainly set to test them. Di Lampard, of course, the chef de keep of the British team, a lady who's won the Queen's Cup here in the past, and will certainly keep her eye closely on the British talent and all that goes around it. The last time we saw a British winner in this class, well, that was Ben Mayer back in 2013 on a horse called Triple X that he won a gold medal on in 2012 in the team event in London, and of course going on in the future to win an Olympic individual gold. You can think of the last Irish winner, Billy Toomey, on the great Lizzie Murray. Some fabulous names, but none more so, I guess, than five-time winner David Broome, the man that has won the trophy more than most. Nick Skelton, Michael Whittaker have both won it 4 times, and then you can look at the likes of John Whittaker and Robert Smith that have taken it 3. But over the years, Ted Edgar, Harry Llewellyn, Harvey Smith, Paul Schockemoeller, Hodgie Boss, Ken Farrington, they're all different superstars from different eras that have put their name on this beautiful trophy, the gold, solid gold trophy that is the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Well, there's the details of the course. Kelvin Bywater has set for them 17 jumping efforts, and boy oh boy are they going to test them. 13 obstacles on the number. 82 is a number to remember, though. That is the time allowed as we get to have a little look at the course here for these horses and riders. So let's zoom on down into one of the most famous arenas in equestrian sport here at the All England Jumping Course. Beginning over that parallel, they loop back on themselves to a 160 upright. The 5-stride distance down to a 160 wide, 150 high parallel at fence 3. Rolling back away and starting to go up the hill, away from the in-gate to the water, which comes very early. It's 4 metres wide with a brush in front. 7 or 8, it's just going to depend how they ride it on landing after that. If they come down to a big wide stretch, 170 wide, 153 high, that parallel at fence number 5. The rollback turn, one of those other famous obstacles, the wall, is again 160 plus, and then 8 strides on the curve to the Longines combination. 1 stride, 2 stride, parallel, upright, parallel, and then down to another iconic fence. It is the plank, standing well over 160 at there on about 6 strides down that line. Round the corner, again looping into the bottom of the arena here, down below the road jump. That's fence 9, and then you begin the climb. But climbing back over the famous double of gates, it's a tradition here. It's a single stride, and then 8 on a slight curve to that Longines fence at 11, before you turn right-handed to another 2 iconic fences in this course, under the trees in front of the grandstand. It's that double of ditches and the single stride between, before 7/8, again it'll just depend how they ride it, to a 162 upright, and again you're climbing the hill. We're going to talk about that incline this afternoon. It's a 2-metre drop from top to bottom. It's one of the features that makes this ring so special, and of course one of the challenges for the horses and riders that they really have to bear in mind when they're approaching the course and the fences. Talking of the course, great to welcome you back up now into the commentary box. John Levingham alongside me this afternoon. This we are looking forward to, John.
Thank you, Gareth. On our screen now we can see the studs being put in, preparation happening down below, and I must say that Kevin Baywater has built a challenging course, and we'll talk about that a little later on as the horses are jumping, as to where the little subtleties of difficulty. One of the not so subtle is that it's all up to height. It's big and it's wide, and I was chatting to Kelvin earlier and he said, well, the ground here in Hickstead is so fantastic, it's giving them at least another 60 centimetres in height.
Now, interestingly, we have had the most beautiful week of weather every single day, and just as we go to start, there's a little bit of drizzle out there, and whether that makes any difference or not, it certainly won't to the ground, but ultimately couldn't have planned that.
No, but what it has done is that it was 25 degrees and it's just taken the temperature down a little bit. So for the athletes, both equestrian and human, I think the little drop of rain was welcome.
Well, it's certainly not dampening the spirits, because everybody came to enjoy great sport. 150,000 euros worth of prize money. This is a day for history to be made here at the All England Jumping Course with this Longines King George V Gold Cup. In all, 48 will come forward. We have 9 different nations involved, and what has been the most brilliant weeks of sport. We've seen some of the best riders competing at the top level this week, and it's just been tremendous to have 5-star sport back here at the All England Jumping Course after the last couple of years. But all week we've just kept looking towards what was coming, and it was always going to build its way towards this, so we can sit back, relax and enjoy some scintillating sport on a Sunday afternoon, John.
Really looking forward to it. It's the expectation. Your first riders coming up the chute, representing France. Of course, they were successful in the Nations Cup here.
What a week it's been, and you're walking in not only to an arena filled with history, but to try and compete for a trophy that has got some spectacular names on it.
It is, and it's really interesting chatting to the riders, and you're saying, you know, what's your priority this week, Nations Cup or King George V? And to a man, we want to win the King George V. Some are dreams and some are reality. So let's look forward to the reality.
Well, here we go. France, well, they have won this several times before. They last won it 2007 with a rider called Amanak Dupont, and before that in 2006 with Roger Boss. But they're going to start things off here today. The first to go in the Longines King George V Gold Cup is Olivier Peru with this lovely mare, GL Events, Vencina de Boilly, 13-year-old mare, Saint Francais, by the great sire Diamant de Semelly. Olivier, who has well, been a real star. He's ranked well inside the world's top 100. He has jumped this horse numerous times on Nations Cups already this year. And after what has been a great week for France, when they well, they'd had to wait quite some time to lift that Edward Prince of Wales trophy in the Longines FEI Nations Cup of Great Britain, could it be their day in the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Here we go. Olivia Peru, GL Events, Vencina de Guilly. And I think this is the right moment. John, just let's take us round this course. Give us an idea with the first to go. Hoping all goes to plan.
Okay, approaching off the right rein to the first fence, Hickstead. Straight away, then you're back up to 160 vertical. So this is where the difficulties really start. 2 rails, little gate. Quite 5 up here. Got a little deep jump, that superbly. Then you roll back left, slightly up the gradient to the water. Jumps that.
Oh, now was that a foot in? Yes, it was.
Straight line up to your oxer. Now the first difficult line comes in, off tight around the Irish bank to a very tall wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And had the front rail off the 8. A lot of discussion was it a 7, was it an 8 when we had the course walk? Then down to very tall Hickstead. You've got to wait after that combination. Roll back to quite a big oxer, and then back off your left rein up to the double of gates. 1 meter 55 both. Jump that really, really well. On the 7 to the Longines oxer, push the front rail. Now back to your double of ditches. You don't have these in a lot of competitions. Aachen has them, and Hickstead.
Well, he's the first to land, and he is, in fact, just over the time as well. We'll see how relevant that becomes throughout the course of the afternoon. The time allowed is part of the test. It's as equally important as jumping the fences themselves. It's set at 82. He finishes in 82.31, so he does just pick up the 1 time fault. It's 1 for every commenced second. But 16 for jumping, and it started there at the water. But certainly showing right from the off that it is a big test. It's a traditional test when you see like the double of waters, the double of gates.
And what's interesting when it comes in as the 4th fence, it's slightly up the incline, and he got sucked in a little bit, that he didn't override to get up in his distance, so he ended up 3/4 of a stride away, which made it a very big water indeed.
Well, here we go with a man that has won some of the biggest prizes in world sport in jumping. He's won some of the major Grand Prix around the globe, but this is one that has eluded him. It is Marcus Enning today with the stallion à la carte NRW, the Westphalian stallion that is gay. And Marcus, a winner of team gold at Olympic level with For Pleasure. He won world gold at team level with Plot Blue. He's won European gold, including right here at Hickstead back in '99. But he is, without question, in everybody's mind, one of the greatest riders of his generation.
It was interesting, when I walked the course earlier, I met Marcus and the course designer, Kelvin Baywater. And Kelvin asked him, he said, what do you think? So such is the respect Marcus has held in, that they have a friendly chat, and Marcus said, it looks fair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really, really operating today. Oh. And that's one of the difficulty with the gradient here. After that combination, it's going to shorten that distance by 1 meter. So you just got a little deep, rub it out in front. And again with the double of gates, that forward momentum makes that double of gates short. So it's not going to be Marcus's day today. His name won't be on this trophy yet. He's going to have to come back.
That he will. We've seen great German winners in the past, Paul Jocquemont and Ludger Biermann. Ludger in the field today, but not for Marcus Enning. As he finishes on the 8, he's well inside the time. He got the speed just right, but we'll talk about the gradient more than once here today. But it is something that riders don't come across in the modern sport, especially, I mean, they jump in a lot of all-weather arenas, but even when you go to the big grass, the legendary rings of Aachen and Spruce Meadows, they don't have that, just that edge. And there, coming down, you are really rolling down the hill.
You are rolling down, and it does change the horse's balance. And what's interesting is that if horses are not used to jumping with gradient, they find it difficult, or more difficult, to readjust their balance. It just tows them that 40 or 50 centimeters deeper than they would like to be.
Well, next to go, a super winning rider for Great Britain. He's won so many Grand Prix in his career. This is not one that he has yet managed to win, but today Guy Williams rides this 10-year-old. It's Ernie of Greenhill Z. It's a new ride to him this year, but one that he obviously thinks a lot of and is giving a huge amount of trust to bring it out in this Longines King George V Gold Cup.
And here you see this horse is having a play. He jumped the first fence, he played all the way around to the second.
Oh,
good
lovely.
Water. Unusual markings on this horse's legs. Quite a lot of white.
It catches the eye. I really like it.
Yeah, and you can see there behind the elbow under the girth. Quite a lot of white. He's opted for the 8 strides. Jumped in super. Very good. Can he jump this big Hickstead rail?
Oh, he sat back, didn't he?
He really did. But just interesting to see now with the horse playing around at the first 3 or 4 fences, whether that will affect his time. He's really got to keep an eye on that.
Oh dear. Oh, he's down. Oh, and the horse has tripped as well.
And he's got the bridle
caught on his legs, so bridle's come off and the horse is going for a little drop, but as you can see, looks to be absolutely fine, as does Guy. I'm sure a little shell shock, because that all happened in the blink of an eye for Guy Williams with Ernie of Greenhill Z. And again, up till that point, had jumped a superb round. I mean, Guy was in brilliant control of what he was doing.
He was really foot perfect. But again, where the course designer has placed the double slightly on the uphill slope.
Oh, look.
Guy was giving him a little bit of room.
It looks like our cameraman down there, John, is helping, well, keep things steady. Wanted to be a star today, did Ernie. Maybe not in the way that he's turned out, but you can see
he's quite happy eating grass now.
There's a superb team down there around the arena, and grooms, of course, immediately on hand alongside what is a very professional team.
Just kept him off a little bit, but there was a little bit too much room. Guy trying to be extra careful.
There was no coming back from that guy.
And he was committed, and what a shame, because that horse had jumped a really, really fantastic round up to that.
Oh, exciting actually, because we've seen Guy on the likes of Rouge de Revel for a long time, winning a lot of classes and doing some really great things. And actually, it's lovely to see that he's got another real star in the making, despite that, coming forward for the future.
It is, and it's so important for these horsemen to have a supply of horses because with one horse you can't do all the shows, therefore you drop down the rankings. So you need to be really bringing through future potential stars as much as you can. They're scarce, they're hard to find.
Well, we move on, and talking of potential stars, this man has certainly made his way into that category in the last couple of years. He's certainly now proved himself at the very top level. It is Jack Ryan, and the horse is BBS McGregor. Homebred, this gelding, produced and bred by Jack and Mum and the team, and it is a horse that has over the last 12 months made its debut in Nations Cups for Ireland. Started that back in Villamora at the end of last year, jumped a lovely double clear that day to help Ireland to victory. Went to Abu Dhabi, jumped another double clear, helped Ireland to victory that day in the 5-star. He's kept it up, and this is a combination that we really have come to enjoy watching. This is a great partnership for Ireland.
It is, and Jack has come through the full programme in Ireland of children and horses, juniors and young riders, and medalled all the way through. His parents bred this one, Marguerite and John, and it is a very, very special horse. But this is going to be a good test of somebody who's 20 and a horse who's 10, and just an uncharacteristic mistake there with the front rail. Good up to the water. Very rideable, great control back to that oxer. Horse touch stayed between hand and leg. We're onto this tall Hickstead wall now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you really weighted up, added extra to the combination. very good on the planks. He's just got to be careful now, Gareth, because adding in 2 places
time becomes a part of it.
And you know, there's a lot of money at stake today, so 4 faults, wow, you won't see too many horses jump the double the gates better than that today.
That was a horse that knew what it was doing,
and really good on that Longines oxer. Now the double ditches, he mightn't have jumped these before.
Well, you wouldn't know that looking at it, but the time is going to come into play, and in the sport nowadays it is 1 fault for every commenced second over the time allowed. It's 82, so 85.69 means he picks up as many faults for time as he does for jumping, and that can change your score quite quickly if you don't keep it in mind. And 8 it is, and that goes back to what you were saying in regards, John, to if you add a couple of strides, you start to bring the time into reckoning.
Well, every stride that you add is 0.7 of a second, so... But I can see this horse coming back to win a derby. It's written all over him. I mean, he's brave, he's careful, he's scopy, he's rideable.
Well, the next to go, it's going to be the turn of Brazil. Brazil, who won this in 2017. Yuri Mansour on Babylette in the rain that day. Though today is the turn, the first of Brazilian riders, Francisco José Mesquita Musa. He had a very good win here yesterday. Very different class, and it was a different horse because that was in the Speed Classic. That was a super round yesterday. Today, with Carte de Bleu PS Marathon, this gelding, a 10-year-old gelding. It's the first of Brazil's challengers. He had a good result with this in Aachen. A good Grand Prix win in Centaur. A good build-up here to Hickstead.
The Brazilian riders, they've had a good show, Gareth, haven't they?
They did, part of the jump-off in the Nations Cup. It's finished in 3rd, but got themselves in there with Germany and France.
And those first 3 fences were really on its game today. Very good at the water. Nice 8 after the water. Now this difficult line starts. Will he go 7 or 8 to the combination? And as the course goes on, we'll see a regular pattern there. He looks good on his time. He's good rhythm. He's got to rebalance before the double gates, not just too quick.
But he rebalances, but he's got this lovely style. Once he gets that sort of position where he wants to, he just lets the horse jump so freely.
Just 3 obstacles from home. Double up ditches. Had a good look.
Little rub. But he's still okay. The time looks like it's absolutely fine. He should easily get in on the 82, or will he? In fact, it might run it close. Is he in? Yes, he is. And there's the first of the clears. What a week he is having. What a sensational performance. Francisco José Mesquita Musa giving us the opening clear of the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Winning yesterday, and today the first clear in the big one.
I mean, this horse really showed his class today. Forward bound, but wow, this is going to be a good jump off.
Well, they will come back when we get to that jump off in the order they go clear. So the one thing perhaps to his disadvantage is he's early. He'll be the first out. He'll have to find the way, but will nevertheless, he's there, so at least he's part of the party. Next to go, it is Belgium's turn. This is Peter Clemens, and the horse is Malibu de Wequi. 10-year-old gelding, Belgian warm blood this, and Peter, who has had a tremendous year. He was part of the winning Nations Cup team a few weeks ago on his other ride, Hulet G, in Falsterbo. This particular horse jumped brilliantly in Rotterdam and in Den Bosch, and it's a horse that he's produced himself.
And that's another country that's had a very strong Hickstead Nations Cup meeting.
And they were close. They just fell short of the jump off. Ooh, now almost overcorrected.
Then picked up and jumped. It just shows the scope of these horses, doesn't it?
It really does. That's a 4-meter width on the water. take the pace out on the way there.
Now you can see how he's nice and tight around the bank because he knows that he's used up an extra second or two with that hesitation. Went up on the 7. That's short there coming out to the Oxer. Had room down on the 6 to the Hickstead blank. Rebalanced to the Oxer. Now the next little problem that they have. Double the gates at 155. Superb. Nice 8 around. This horse has sort of got a casual canter, doesn't he?
He does.
Very big, powerful. Almost looks slow.
Oh, this could unbelievably be 2 in a row, and it is 2 in a row. Oh, what a day we're going to have. Well done, Peter Clemens. Maladu de Wiki is clear as well. It's 1 for Brazil, and it's 1 for Belgium. It's 2 from the opening round of 6 here in the Longines King George V Gold Cup. That performance at the water, the way he took all the pace out of it, and then 2 strikes out, he says go again, and they still jumped it.
He did. He jumped this clear round, but he had 2 places where he'd be saying, I was a bit lucky there. The water and the double of ditches. I mean, the horse jumped in, went left, and he really had to put the leg on to keep him straight and jump out. But the result says it all. Clear round.
I know, and a big grin from ear to ear. It's all you can expect if you jump it clear in the King George. Right, Sweden's turn. Stephanie Holman flips Little Sparrow. The ride we see now, another very strong horse, third in a big class in Falsterbo, the big 5-star event in Sweden, the Nations Cup meeting. She jumped this horse double clear on a Nations Cup team already this year. It's another powerful mare, 16 years of age, very experienced combination.
And having watched her all week, if she gets into the jump off, she's going to be quick. Now we see her turning back towards the water, slightly uphill. Jumped it really well. It depends. When you can really trust them to jump the water, it makes the distance after the water much easier. Again, tight around the Irish bank. Now up to the combination on the outside 8. And really, really good. Weight up on the 6. This is jumping an absolutely cracker of a round. Now back around to her double of gates. Look at the rein contact, support. Then off the floor, just a little soft. Watch her again now, this Oxer, watch her body. Tall with leg. Moving up, get up the gradient, double of ditches, then support. Little deep going in.
Oh, this could be a hat-trick for the riders here. Time. Oh no, the last is gone. Oh, you come up that hill, you are within millimetres of going clear, and suddenly that final fence, just the tiniest of touches, and the dream goes away after what had been a perfect round.
Yes. I'm sorry not to see her on the jump off, because that was just, and that's what the double of ditches do before that last fence. They stretch the horse a little bit, make him try, and then with the gradient up, with the tall 165, 163 vertical actually, that jumped a superb round and very unlucky.
Well, 2 clears so far. One of those is Francisco Jose Mezquita Musa. I think Hannah's found it.
Thanks very much, Gareth. Yeah, Francisco, you're having quite the good couple of days here at Hickstead, aren't you? And you have got a jump off already in the King George V Gold Cup. A super round from you out there.
Yeah, my horse jumped unbelievable this week. I'm really happy. The blue jump unbelievable now. It was a difficult course. Huh? The time is short. The rider is a lot of work in this course today.
First to go in the jump off between you and just Peter Clemens as it stands, but you were watching Stephanie Holman's round very closely because she was super speedy, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think I have more 3 or 4 clears, a lot of good riders here. It's difficult on course like that when a lot of top riders in the world jump. It's difficult only 1 clear, but I tried make the same I make yesterday. Go fast.
You make it sound so simple. Look, Robert Whittaker is already heading up the funnel, so we will let you go and get ready for the jump off, and we will continue the King George V Gold Cup after the break.
Yes, that's the Team Sky taking throughout the week. Looking exciting stuff for them as our viewers at home watching. And for all of you, as I mentioned, it's a great trophy. Next one on their way. One of the two clears so far, Pete Emerson there and Francisco Azumesquita was on the back of that win yesterday. The trophy back to 1911. It was nearly lost back in 1939, but thankfully, due to the quick thinking of one Italian, Alessandro Bertoni Gazzaro, who's buried actually a trophy in their garden in the grounds of their villa during the war. It was then retrieved, and after that was returned to the British Embassy, and then since then has never left British soil or the eyes of the gentlemen standing alongside it. It's been lifted many times with the greats Harvey Smith, David Brugh with it more than anyone, the Shockerbola brothers, Arwen and Paul, John and Michael Whittaker with the brothers too, and of course Olympic greats Nick Skelton and Ben Mayer as well. The most recent British winner being in 2013, but we've seen some wonderful names on that trophy recently as BZ Man back-to-back wins for one of the US greats in 2014 and 15. And then the last winner being David Will of Germany with Never Walk Alone. That was in 2019, so we're delighted to have you back for here for the 2022 running of this class. And we're all set for upcoming for our next for Great Britain. As I say, this is also a great opportunity for a lot of young talent and some well-established stars.
Welcome back to the Longines Royal International Horse Show. Welcome back to the All England Jumping Course at Hickstead. The Longines King George V Gold Cup is at the moment underway with two early clears, Brazil and Belgium. It is Francisco Jose Mosquito Musa and Peter Clemens. Those are the two that have guaranteed us a jump off early on, and those are the two that will go first and second. Now it's a case of who will be able to join them, because there's a long way to go here this afternoon in this opening round. There will be twists, there will be turns, plenty, I am sure. But next to go, it is Robert Whittaker. Robert and a nice gelding called Evert. Robert, of course, son of John, a three-time winner. He'll be in the competition himself. He won it, of course, on Right and Son, Milton and Wellham in the past. Three great horses we all remember. But Robert Whittaker, a fine rider in his own right, and already this week with a win here in the five-star classes.
And Robert, son of John, you can see similar style. When he wants to push, you can see the shoulders go forward. But like his dad, a real talent. Probably hasn't had the horses for the last few years at this level, building a string now where he's going to be back at force. So far very good. Just got to jump this Hickstead plank now. Very good. Turning left to this red oxer. No giveaway, but a good opportunity to balance the horses. Now back to the Hickstead double of gates. Slow it down, a little bit of room. Good. Perfect. Ooh. He's got to rebalance here because he wants all the power he can muster up this gradient. Double of ditches.
82 seconds that time allowed.
He's there.
He should be okay. Robert Whittaker and Evert make it number 3 and the first for Great Britain. Well, he is having a good week already. A winner, as I said at the start. Will he finish it all off with a win as well? We'll find out in that jump-off round. But Great Britain now joining Belgium and Brazil in the jump-off against the clock. And I can assure you, Robert is exceptionally competitive. He will give his all when he gets into that next round.
He will, and what a round that horse jumps. I mean, he will be looking forward to the jump off.
Well, like you said, Robert hasn't perhaps quite had the horsepower that his talent deserves in the last few years, but he's certainly worked hard at rebuilding it, and he's producing and training now some really nice horses, and this one is arriving today at the very top level. Well, top level is where we go. We're with the next. It is the turn of the United States of America here with Brian Maugret, a man that has got some brilliant horses in his team, the likes of the magnificent Balou de Reveton that has done so well. This one, though, is MTM, Vivre le Rêve, and it's a superstar that has jumped in some big 5-star shows this year and put in some big results along the route.
And when you come to the King George V Gold Cup, you want big jumping, careful horses. This guy is on his way to the World Championships in Denmark to represent the United States. Very talented. I'd say vastly experienced for his young age. And when you watch him ride, he does a lot of things very correctly. Great use of his body. Trying to get back for that blank. Worked hard. And this horse is really going forward. So he's got to rebalance him before the stubble of the gates. You've got to say he's working hard. And
all the gates gone.
Too deep. He's still fighting. Another rail is gone.
Just that little line of communications just gone in the smallest of smallest ways.
Yes.
And he suddenly home on a score of 12 up to the gate. It had looked so good, but come the end, 12 it is for Brian Maugret and MTN Vive le Rêve. The last time the United States won this class was back in 2015, the second of 2 back-to-back wins for Beezie Madden, the only lady to have ever lifted the Longines King George V Gold Cup. And he certainly was one that people had sort of marked out today. But it shows, despite 3 clears, it's still not an easy job up there. And it goes to how impressive those clears are already.
And I was trying to get some information from the course designer, and I was saying to him, you know, how many clears are you going to get? He said, good ones will go clear. Well, he said, some of the lucky ones and some of the good ones who are not lucky won't go clear.
Amy Ingalls next up. This is Wishes, and she is certainly a good one so far. Jumped in Falsterbo in the 5-star with Wishes in the Grand Prix just 2 weeks ago and finished in 4th, but today it's an early 4, and that's a couple now that have just tipped that front round.
Yes, early on the course, that big vertical, and you can see this one is quite feisty. And sometimes when they're not really listening to you and just they're wanting to get on with their job, it's difficult to keep that right focus. Very good through that combination. And again, down the hill to the Hickstead plank at 160. The horses really have to work with the riders all the time. 2 athletes working together. Really super on that double of gates.
And that is what makes this sport so great. It is a horse, it's a rider working in absolute unison. They've got to try and make sure they've got that magical understanding, that intuitive connection between them. And when it all comes right, it can be so good. Some days the line can be a little fuzzy and it doesn't always go to plan. Today it is a total of 16 jumping, but also fought for time there for Amy. It just looked like on a few points she was just having to fight along a little bit just to try and control Wishes, and that can cost the time. It is a total of 20 there, so Amy Ingalls, certainly, as I say, that 4th place in the Grand Prix in Falsterbo a couple of weeks ago showed just how good they are. Today, different day, different ring, different course, and things can turn out, well, so different. 3 clears so far. There's next to go. That's a lovely shot as well. You look down that combination down to the plank. You must be unbelievably, when you come around that corner and suddenly see that line in front of you as a rider and a horse, to try and sort of pick it all out.
And it starts at the wall. It just doesn't start at the combination. So around that Irish bank to that big wall, 163, and they've got to be focused.
Marc Delassa now, after a brilliant result in the Nations Cup, of course, to help France to victory here with Chaman H.A.S., Chaman Haas, the gelding, the 10-year-old. Very big talent for France, as they proved here the other day, and they certainly showed just how good they can be.
And first 3 fences absolutely foot perfect. Now moving up to the open water. Landed a bit square on that.
And they come to that wall you were just talking about, which little viaduct wall, got the little arch underneath it, but it's as solid as any other wall you'll see.
And it looks like the pattern.
That's gone, back rail.
He jumped his planks really well, but he will not be joining us for the jump off.
It he comes towards the double ditches. Still just on the 4. And 4 is enough to stop you getting into that jump off. Oh!
That double ditch is interesting. The last 2 horses looked at the first arch, ran a bit deep, and then they need real scope to jump out. Just both caught that back rail a little bit.
Marc Delassa with 8 for jumping, 1 for time. Total of 9 for the Frenchman there, with Chapman H.A.S. to finish outside of a chance of getting into the jump off. And already we're starting just to see different parts of the course, like here, just coming out of the combination. Haven't seen that go down again prior. That sort of good spread, I guess, that the course designer always is looking for, is sort of beginning to open up.
It is good, and that second part combination is a little bit quiet, so the horse is going to run deep, and then they've got to back up and then go again in the air to jump the back rail.
Well, to one of the legends, and I mean legends of the sport of show jumping next. Tremendous to see him in action. He's a former winner. He won it in 2002 on a horse called Champion de Lis. Today he rides a beautiful mare called Mila. It is Ludger Beerbaum for Germany. A man that has won Olympic individual gold. He did that back in '92 on a horse called Classic Touch. He has won those 3 team golds at Olympic level. He has won European gold individually and multiple team gold at European and world level. This horse has really had a great year. Big winner of the Grand Prix in Doha and in Mexico, and it was enough to bring him back sort of out of semi-team retirement. He's still been competing, but he was back on a German team this year, right here at Hickstead.
He had to work hard to jump that water.
That was him at his best, though.
All year I've seen this mare, and this is the first opportunity I had to see her live, and she is an absolute beauty. She's a very intelligent face, scopy and alert.
Oh dear. Well, many people have marked him down as favourite today. It just shows in this sport, you just never know, do you?
No. And having watched the number of horses that have gone, you know, with 15, is there a pattern to the combination? It probably jumps a lot better off the 8 than the 7. And
that might be to the advantage of those that come a little later in the draw, because, of course, if you're in the back end of it, you get the chance to watch for a little while. But right now, Ludger finishing on that score of 4. It's the best of the rest, but it isn't a clear, and that's what he was hoping for. Tremendous to see him here, though, at the All England Jumping Course. He loves coming, and there's been very complimentary. The going, as we know, is in absolutely superb condition. But cleared that nicely.
he had to work. He really had to work. But the mare is a superstar.
Well, clears remain with 3. Brazil, Belgium and Great Britain. Not yet for Germany. Two of their stars, Luca Bibb and Marcus Elling, missing out in these very early stages of the opening round of the Longines King George V Gold Cup. The next up is another British talent. This is Samuel Hutton. Sam Hutton here with this 9-year-old mare called Bon Ami, who we saw yesterday morning. Boy, oh boy, was she impressive. Sam, who has been based with Abdul Saeed out in Belgium for many years, has really moved his way up through the rankings, has started this year out in Wellington with some great results in Florida. But as I say, yesterday second in one of the big 5-star ranking classes with Bon Ami, who looked a real power horse.
And interesting as he cantered by the water on his way to his first fence, she had a really good look at the flowers. So I mean, these horses are alert, they see everything. And having jumped the second fence and given it a foot, just run a little deep, had the front rail of the third fence in front. Wow, she stretched, jumped out the water.
That was phenomenal, the way she got her front legs out. She was never going to want to put her foot in that toe in the water there.
And she's naturally got a fantastic, energetic, high canter. Watch where the knees go, watch where the hock is. Gives a lot of power. Really jumped that combination. Like he's going to look back on this round and think on that first mistake. Oh, I should have given it just 20 centimetres more room, maybe.
Certainly not the first to have had fence 3 down. It's caught out, what, 3 or 4 of the riders early on.
Yeah, when you jump that line, you're heading straight for the exit. And there might be something there just taking their attention away. A horse waiting at the gate, maybe.
Oh dear. Well, launched too early. Both are up. Both are okay.
Yep.
Again,
I think he had a perfect distance, but all those poles and the double ditches.
and you'll see when that sort of thing happens, as you know, scary as it looks at that point with the modern sport, of course, those are all on what we call drop cups on those fences. So as the horse stretched out, because it went that little bit early and as it lifted his body over some of the poles, you'll have noticed immediately the poles would have all just collapsed straight away to the ground to ensure that nothing gets tangled up, nothing gets caught for the horse. And of course, as I say, sometimes look very uncomfortable, but as you can see, both immediately back up on their feet, and there's a team out there that are straight over to
You can see all those safety cups there.
That's
on
it.
the,
You can see just how they work.
and they just drop away with downward pressure.
Yeah, don't take a huge amount of pressure either.
No.
So the riders will tell you when they tap a back rail on a parallel when they're trying to jump it clear. So
And you really just to pick off a stride early.
but that might, you know, again, you don't get to jump a double of water ditches, permanent ditches, in many arenas on many occasions, and sometimes it helps to have seen them before, and you can't always rehearse that at home.
No, I think Aachen, Calgary, Hickstead, and you do have water trays and double the ditch, but it's not the same as having a real double the ditches. There's a lot of reflection off the water.
Well, there's the clears as they stand. Francesca Jose Mosquito Musa, Peter Clement and Robert Whittaker, the 3 that we will see back in that jump-off round. See the grandstand absolutely packed here today out there, and both the covered grandstand and the open grandstand. It is so good to see the sport in such good health with so many people out to enjoy 5-star jumping, and the vet's there straight away just to make sure that even if there's a little cut or a graze or anything, it can be duly attended to. Abdullah Hamid Amari now here for the United Arab Emirates. This one of their stars, and this horse Alatreno, who went to the World Cup final in Leipzig this year, his second fence down. What a shame. I was going to say, it was his second outing at a World Cup final. I mean, although this horse new this year, they've proved they can jump the big stage.
And second fence down, jumped the water superbly. Very good up on that oxer. It's a long way home now if you have a second fence down, but it'll change the mindset of the rider a bit, so he's not panicking about time, so he'll slow things down, rebalance, use this as an experience round for himself and for his horse. Ran a bit deep coming out of the combination. I mean, Kevin Bywater has built a large technical track. Now, the maximum height for 5-Star Nations Cup is 160, and they do have a 3 centimetre. So some of these verticals are 163. When you get the championship level, your maximum height can be 165, but for 5-star, the new rules, it's 160. That's the maximum height.
Well, he'll have learnt, and again, it puts more experience in to their back catalogue, but ultimately, well, we know they can do very well on the big stage. Just today has not worked out. Jumping and a few time faults combining for 15 there. It's 12 and 3, it's 15 in all. For the first of the riders for the United Arab Emirates, that is Abdullah Hamid Al Mari there with Valentiano, the 12-year-old. Looking out to the members' grandstand, you can see the flags fluttering in the wind. It's a nice breeze out there, and the rain seems to have just pushed away. Green receiving, even happily have a few polos. Little pat, and a little pat here as well. Just calm the horse, make sure things are ready for William Whittaker. The horse Galter is his ride today. Philip Tuckwell's Galter, this 12-year-old that took him as part of the team to the European Championships for Great Britain in Risenbeck last year, has had a little bit of time off, came back at Bolesworth. William, though, well known to many of us as one of the great talents in this sport. He's won the Derby, he's won the World Cup at Olympia, the London International Horse Show, and many more team outings for Great Britain.
Also probably one of the nicest gentlemen, young gentlemen in the sport.
Agreed.
But superb talent, a real professional. And this horse is on form today. Now he's into this next difficult line. 163 wall. He had it. Just opened his frame too early, had it behind. Combination very well. Good balance to the Hickstead plank. When you watch this rider's lower leg, just underneath him all the time. Watch his hands, soft, easy support. Lovely straight line from the bit to his hip. Top level, but also an exhibition in correct position.
Well, he's coming home. He's going to pick up a time fault or two as well. I think didn't need to rush after he'd had the fence down. He'll finish on a score of 7. So it is 4 for jumping, 3 for time with Galter. But as I said, the horse has had a little bit of time off over the last 12 months, and back to their second show, being a 5-star event for William. It is a combination that last year coming on song, and that's why they ended up going to the Europeans. And I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of them over the rest of 2022. It's a horse that was originally produced by superb lady rider Helen Treadwell, and William taking the ride on and just moving up through the levels very, very successfully. That wall shows just how easy it is. Tiny little coatings on top, and it just slid away. Well, we move from Great Britain to Ireland and to Alexander Butler, the really impressive Chili Bee, the stallion that is next to go for the young Irishman. Looked good this week as Alex, he's been in the ribbons. Of course, he was part of Ireland's team here. It's a horse that's had some good results, jumped very well in Rome, and Pulsar last year was in the final of the EEF, jumped a double clear for Ireland in that EEF Nations Cup series.
And he jumped a 4 and 4 on Friday in the Nations Cup.
And it could have so easily been a clear and clear.
Yes. Chatting to Alexander afterwards, he said that he was disappointed that he didn't get his double clear because he thought the horse jumped out of his skin. So this is his opportunity now to get a 0 on the board here for himself and for Chili Bee. back around to this 160 vertical. Super. Very good on his first three. Tight back to his water. Get a good look at this now. Excellent. Nice 8 strides up to the oxer. He's very conscious of the tight time allowed and taking those short lines whenever he can. 163 and had the coping off in front.
2 in a row.
Good into his combination, very good in the middle. Super out. And had the Hickstead rail behind as well. Now uphill slightly to the double up gates. Very good there. 7 strides to the Longines. Now back to the double of ditches. Nice and square.
Yeah.
And again just clipped the back rail. So it's 3 fences behind for him today.
Might be a time fault as well. There is 82.26 for Alex Butler and for Chili B. Not to be for the first 2 of the Irish riders, but Alex there and Chili B finishing on a final score 12 for jumping, 1 for time, 13 in the end. Ireland, who've had plenty of success in this Longines King George the Fifth Gold Cup in the past. As I said, their last winner been Billy Toomey, but you can look back to the likes of Kevin Babington, Cameron Hanley, Robert Splain, Tommy Wade, Kevin Barry, Jed O'Dwyer, John Lewis, all winners of the famous Longines King George V Gold Cup over the many years that it's been around, and there are still some big chances for the Irish to come later in the draw. Chili B, difficult day, finishing on that score with 3 clear still so far. And for the home crowd, they'll be happy because Robert Whittaker is one of them. But now we've already 1 clear for Brazil. Could it be 2? Because this man was a sensation in that Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup for Great Britain. It is João Victor Castro with Dispensassi. He rode what I classed as the rocking horse round in the first round, but it rocked because it was clear. It was clear, double clear in that Nations Cup on Friday.
Well, he might be a rocking horse in your eyes, but in mine he's a superstar.
You remember what happened.
I do remember. And it's interesting how this horse uses his back. So, you know, he really uses his body off the floor in the air, and he can go again in the air. So if he leaves him a little bit off. But so far today, it is foot perfect.
Oh, absolutely.
And just look at the horse's expression. Watch him judging his distance.
Oh dear.
He will be really, really sad about that. So it's very important to keep that energy, that impulsion in the canter going. Those nice horses, if you let it get a little bit quiet on this, in this ring, the energy seeps away. So you've really got to keep that canter active, keep the impulsion.
Just that tiny tap of a plank is all it is. He's going to pick up a time fault as well, though, I feel. He goes over by 1 to make it a score of 5, and that, well, could play quite a difference when it comes to the lower prizes being paid out a bit later. But nevertheless, João Victor Castro and Dispensassi, after that brilliant double clear in the Nations Cup, end up out of action in terms of going forward into the jump off, and just the 1 clear at the moment for the Brazilian riders, coming a little earlier from Francisco José Mosquito Musa.
But as a 9-year-old horse, what I've seen all week,
yes,
what a superstar, probably heading for Paris.
Exciting times for the Brazilian riders looking forward, absolutely. Currently the clears on 3. Now another chance for Great Britain, because it is Jackson Reed Stevenson, and this horse is Exception. Exception, 12 years of age, this wonderful gelding that has been a brilliant horse for Jackson. Brilliant Grand Prix result down in Portugal, but unfortunately with the first fence down, it's going to be an awfully long ride.
It is. Now we see him approaching the water. good distance. Oh, little quiet, and then the horse went, what is this?
Hand goes up.
Again, you wonder, with the first fence down, if he lost a little bit of focus on it.
He's put his hand up immediately, and that indicates to the judges of the competition and everybody else that he's decided to retire. Realised the horse doesn't want to play today, jumps a little fence, finishes in a confident manner to ensure that the next time he comes in the ring, things can start in slightly better form than they finished.
But it was a very unexpected stop, because he didn't ride it like the horse was going to have a look or anything, and whatever the horse saw at the last second,
who knows?
Who knows?
Well, there you saw the leaderboard with the three clears: Francesco Jose Mesquita Musa, Brazil; Peter Clemens, Belgium; and Robert Whittaker for Great Britain. And there's that first fence going down. What do you say? Well, heart goes out. Here's the replay on the run down to the water. It was such a last stride. Brakes are on, we're not going. And then Jackson deciding just to save it. No point. Next up, it's the turn of Belgium. Belgium with the one clear already. Now for Belgium, it is Olivier Philippaerts with Le Blue Diamond Van Het Rustenhof. This beautiful stallion that he was using in the European Championships last year when Belgium won the bronze medal. He was on the team with this horse, and Olivier has been on a winning Nations Cup team here in the past. Actually had his first individual win in the international arena here yesterday. He's big talent, very strong horse.
Big talent, and looking really, really good here. Ooh, a big stretch and a bit of a drift on the water. Now this next difficult line, wall 163, 7 or 8 strides to the combination. He's waiting up in the 8, straight. Very good. Hickstead planks. Moving up on the inside line on the 8 to the Oxer. Around to the double of gates. Lovely.
Olivier, of course, son of the great Ludo Philippaerts.
Had a really good rub at that.
He did indeed, but he's okay.
Now the next big challenge.
Time should be fine. One clear already for Belgium. Job's the last to give us 2 for Belgium and 4 in all. It's another clear in this opening round of the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Brilliant performance from Le Bleu Diamond Van Het Rustenhof. Superb. He didn't jump it in the Nations Cup. He jumped Miro the other day. Saved this for the big one on this Super Sunday.
He will be so happy with that. A little bit lucky at the water. Horse drift to the left. A lot of pressure. But this man is riding at the top of his game.
I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the last time Belgium won the King George was back in 1931 when Jacques Misson won it on the Parson. 2 clears for Belgium already. Maybe that wait is over. We'll see what happens a little later. 4 clears so far in the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Next to go for Great Britain is Sami El-Dahan, WKD Amemoir. This 12-year-old mare for Sami, a winner of the likes of the great Grand Prix in Spruce Meadows in the past. He based out in Northern Ireland. Used to ride for Egypt, changed nationality, and superb now for British sport to have him under the British flag.
And Sami is he's a real talent, a real natural horseman,
and such a nice person to boot.
Now, I've spoken about this difficult line a few times, and I'll now try and explain why it's difficult. You have a 160 solid wall. Don't jump too many of them internationally now. Then slightly downhill gradient to a combination, the Longines combination. Oxer, open distance, and then too quiet to another Oxer. Really gave an exhibition there. Then down the hill again to a 160 Hickstead flank. Sammy made that line look easy. Now back to the next difficulty with his double of gates.
Double of gates.
Did he get straight enough there?
Where else, though, John, would you see a double of gates in world jumping other than Hickstead like this?
You don't see them that often. And I'm not sure we shouldn't see them more often.
Well, for Sammy in the end, it was all going perfectly until he got to the double of gates, and then 12 by the end of the round he was in on the clock. He's had some good results with that horse this year on the global circuit, plenty in the top 5-star classes, but today he finishes on a final score of 12, although well inside in terms of the time allowed. Well, still then the 4, and just one at the moment for Great Britain, but we're not yet halfway through the opening round of the Longines King George V Gold Cup. From Great Britain we turn to Sweden, and Sweden's Evelina Torvek riding Winnie 2 de la Hammonette Z, the 12-year-old gelding for the Swedish Star. Winnie 2 was second in a massive 5-star Grand Prix out in Doha at the start of the year. She's started the year out on that tour in the United Arab Emirates, had some superb results. She's jobbed this horse on the global tour this year through the summer season and been going very, very well.
So far, looking very impressive. Now, up to the water, good forward ride.
Oh, a long way off. I don't think she got there.
I don't think she got away with it.
No, the paddle's up immediately. The judge out on the water, keeping a close eye.
She got really high and just put a heel on the tape. Very high on that wall. Now, Gareth, you were asking about the double of gates. We don't see them very often. If you come to Dublin in 2.5 weeks' time, you'll see them there. We'll have them especially for you. little low on that.
My point stands, though. You don't see them that often in the modern sport.
No, you don't. But I think the sport going forward, we need to get back to a little more of the solid.
Oh dear.
And I'm not saying solid.
How did she recover that?
Solid looking. Because there's a very different visual for the horse.
Well, and actually, what you've just said and greatly demonstrated, those gates many years ago would have been one complete gate. Again, modern safety in the sport. Now they're called split gates. They look like a solid gate when you get there, but they're not. They're split in two. So, in the case of something like that happening, they just fall away, and the horse is just able to hop its way out of trouble. And huge disappointment for Evelina, but proving, sorry, a little bit what you were saying. They look solid, but they don't always have to be solid. But nevertheless, at the moment we've got 4 clears, 2 for Belgium. He won on his birthday yesterday, and I'm hoping we found him with Hannah.
We certainly have, Gareth. It is a very good birthday weekend if you're Olivier Philippart. So a win yesterday, and you're into the jump off of the Grand Prix today. What a super round from Blue Diamond.
Very good. I was very happy with his round. I think it was one of the first time I jumped on a big grass field like this, but he was very calm and very good. Just the big water, he just looked a bit at it, but the rest, I have to say, jumped it very, very, very good.
4th to go in the jump off. You've had a good look at that track out there, I know. How will you approach it? Because you'll have a read of how the others have gone.
Well, I think probably there are a couple of quick before me, so just we got to go and try to win and nothing to lose. I mean, we just have to go for it. I mean, it's only once a year this show, so I think we'll give it all on the jump off.
We know you're a speedy rider, so we are very much looking forward to this jump off. Will there be more than 4 in it? We very much hope so. Plenty of riders still to come in the Longines King George V Gold Cup here at Hickstead.
Yes, thank you, Hannah. And it is building up to our next to go. As say, we've got coming up our 20 seconds. And those in the first row, those clears so far. Brazil, Belgium, Great Britain, 2 for Belgium. Olivier Philippart, the most recent, as we said. Birthday win this week. He had a birthday win to take him into that day, so good start for him. But will he continue here into this final Grand Prix of the week? Next up is a young talent for Great Britain. She's been very much climbing up the ranks. Finished second in the Grand Prix of Paris this year with a brilliant performance with Longines. She's also been on the Nations Cups in Prague in the Czech Republic and finished well in Mexico back into April. With the 12-year-old Gail Lingers by Landerais from the lines of pleasure, it is Lily Atwood, Great Britain.
Welcome back to the Longines Royal International Horse Show for the Longines King George V Gold Cup. It is Grand Prix Day, and €150,000 worth of prize money is going to be decided upon here this afternoon. It is a full house, packed, and there's a real buzz around the showground that even the drizzle couldn't dampen at the moment, because with 4 clears, Brazil, Great Britain and 2 for Belgium, it is all coming together. And now one of the really promising young superstars for Great Britain, Lily Atwood. Lily, who had a superb second place in one of the big global Grand Prix in Paris just a few weeks ago. She's been on senior Nations Cup teams, and she's just back from the Young Rider Nations Cup squad down in Oliva. This ride is Karavu Horta. She is certainly one to keep an eye on. Lily Atwood, the next up for Great Britain.
Now we see her approaching the first fence, and that has been knocked down, I think, 4 times so far in this competition. Back to a nice 160 open vertical. 5 a little quiet. Very good. Interesting now, she came in, she gave the horse a look at this water.
Ooh, plenty of pace.
And jumped it really, really well. Fighting a little bit afterwards.
And then paid the consequences.
Yes. And that's the danger when you have a lot of pace to the water. You've got to take the pace off for that oxer afterwards. Back on this line, very good on the wall. On the 8. Lovely concentration on the horse's face there. And the horse is keen. Slow down a little bit back to the double of gates.
Oh dear. Almost just looked like she took a little bit too much pace out.
Yeah. And sometimes these horses, when they jump a few, they think, all right, I'm finished now, and you sort of switch off a little bit.
And I think maybe that's exactly what happened there, because she just realised that the horse hadn't switched off, and that's why I think perhaps the hand went up straight away as well, not to, you know, go any further.
But at this stage, with the fence down, she's thinking, okay, it didn't work today, but let's keep her fresh for another day.
Yeah, Karavu Horta and Lily Atwood, really one of those riders, so, like I said, that has very much now established herself at the top level of the senior sport as one of this new generation of British riders, and we're going to see several more of those as we go through the draw. Although now to France and Olivier Robert, and this horse is a Vivaldi de Menu. He is the gelding, the 13-year-old for Olivier, who is world number 66. This is a horse that he took to the European Championships and the Nations Cup final in Barcelona last year. He's finished very high up in some big Grand Prix, Paris, Geneva to name 2. Could it be another here? A big day after going so well in the Nations Cup. France now looking for a big round in the King George.
That was a good day for them on Friday, and they will really want one of their French riders into this. Can they do the double Nations Cup and King George V Gold Cup?
Yeah, that was last done back in 2017 with Brazil on the Nations Cup, and Yuri Mansur in the King George. Oh dear, that's 3 now that just slid a brick away.
Yes. And when I saw Alexander Butler's Chili B jump that, I thought he had it down behind, but actually he pushed it out in front that I saw on the replay. So it's tall, it's 163, it's a solid wall. Just run a fraction deep and a millimetre too low, and the brick is pushed out. I mean, they're really light bricks.
I think he's going to retire because he's ridden away. He's decided not to come back with 12 to... yeah, he's left it alone. There's a lot of jumping left, a lot of big efforts that I think he's realised he doesn't need to do when he's on 12 faults at that point. And full respect to the riders just making that decision. There's no need to go any further at this point for Olivier Robert and Vivaldi des Menus. Perfect timing there, as you can see, for a perfect day, and it's a full house here in the crowd. The covered grandstand, one of 2 packed grandstands, and that's not just there, it's all over the showground. Today it is full. It has been so busy but so good to see so many people here. Of course, nothing at all in 2019. Last year some sport, but all national and behind closed doors to a point. This year it is all back, and it is just so good to be here and be part of it. Next up, it's Germany once more. Philipp Weishout, and this is at the mare for one of the great German riders. He's won some superb Grand Prix this year. I mean, he's got a horse called Kobe that he hasn't brought here, but it's because it won a 5-star Grand Prix in Valkenswaard a week ago. He took a big 5-star win in Wellington. He won a World Cup out in Riyadh. I mean, he is a born winner, is Philippe. What can he do with this mare, Assasir? I mean, we'll find out, but good luck to him. Ranked well inside the world's top 100 and jumped very well in the Grand Prix in Sopot alongside the Nations Cup in Poland this year.
This mare is jumping really well. You saw how tight he was back to fence 2, so he's conscious of being inside the time. This man would love to add this King George V to his cabinet of trophies, wouldn't he?
It's quite a cabinet.
This mare 15 years old now. And look at the expression on her face. Lovely shot there from the camera angle.
Oh.
Just a little keen and finished up a little deep down that hill. And the result, the Hickstead planks on the floor.
It must be so hard to judge that as a rider, landing. I mean, how difficult is it, John?
It's difficult enough, but when you have Mr. Bywater putting it after a combination which shortens the distance and puts it at 163, it makes it a lot more difficult.
Well, Assasir got to the double of ditches and didn't want to go any further. Philip respects that, and he says, OK, let's leave it there. We're on a score of 8. You don't want to jump. That's fine by me. They will bounce back. It is just another to leave things alone at that point. So we stick with 4 clear rounds. Francesco José Mosquito Musa, Peter Clemens, Robert Whittaker, and Olivier Philipparts, the 4-3. 2 for Belgium, Brazil, and Great Britain have representation in the jump-off round. We're about halfway through the opening round of jumping. In fact, we are at the halfway point of those 4 clears. Just having another little look at him coming down the combination.
And that, I mean, absolutely straight perfection. And then just run it a little bit deep. Gareth, when we get a chance, ask me about the double of ditches when there's a little break a little later.
Well, let's first and foremost enjoy the next of the rounds. Philip, difficult moments as he walks away, but this is a young man for the United Arab Emirates now that is certainly rising through their ranks, and now one of their senior stars. It is Omar Abdulaziz Al-Mazouki. He rides a horse called Tatina for the Al Shira stables that have been such phenomenal supporters and producers of horses. They breed and have a great stable here now in the UK, but also certainly benefiting riders, and again falls foul of a first fence. That has caught a number of them. And this is a young man that won an individual silver at the Youth Olympic Games back in 2018.
And a good talent he is. And that first fence, I mean, it's a really nice first fence. Hickstead, white and gold. And the first fence, it's 145. It's a little bit of width in it. But again, the horse has got to be focused from when the bell goes until you can't through the finish line. That brick just pushed out again with that left front leg. That even technique is important. And just a toe on that Hickstead plank. Hits the floor once more. Back to the double of gates now. And jumped that really, really well.
Ooh.
Lost his line.
He did a little bit.
There.
I was thinking he's gone a little bit off to the right, but now just getting straight for the double of ditches. Look that. Just gets caught coming out. You'll have learned quite a lot, I'm sure, and it again builds experience for the future for a very talented young man. But today it's a score of 20 and 20 and 7, so 27, 7 for time, 27 in all there for Omar Abdulaziz Amazuki and Detina. So that is how it stands. What were you going to tell me about the double of ditches?
Well, you don't see a double of ditches a lot, but if you build a double of ditches that are there, then you've got to have the trees beside them, because the cloud cover changes, the shadows of the trees, a lot of reflection of the water. So it's not the same for every horse in the competition, depending on what the cloud cover is, what the reflection of the water is, what the wind is. It's a really interesting difficulty, but it does have an influence on the horse's visual on the water.
Fascinating. Well, this is a man that's jumped those double ditches before in different competitions here, because he's jumped plenty of times. It is Trevor Breen, and today riding this new star, Gonzalo. Trevor, he's got some really strong horses in his stable. He is a man that has won plenty here at Hickstead over the time. This, though, is one that has eluded him. He's a double Derby winner, he's won the Queens, he's been on a Nations Cup winning team. But this trophy is missing from the cabinet.
He's not the only one who's missing it, but I don't think there would be any man happier to put it in the cabinet this evening. He's going to move up to the water.
Fascinated to see how this horse gets on, because he's got the likes of Jermaine W, Highland President, that have both been team horses, cup horses, Nation Cup horses this year. But then suddenly he pulls this one out for the Grand Prix.
He's keeping his powder dry for Dublin, for the World Championships. But so far this is well justifying his position in the start list. Jumping a superb first round. Weight up for these planks now, weight up, leg. Lovely. Just rebalance now, he's good on his time. Keep that engine running, keep the impulsion. Good. Straight down here on the 8. Land and move up, so then he can wait in that good distance to the double of ditches.
Clock just ticking on a little bit here.
And leg. Go the 7, go the 7.
He's getting close to the clock. He should, well, who knows? If he can jump the last, he's going to be clear. Yes, he is. He has won every major here at the All England jumping course in his career so far. The one that is missing, and he's one step closer. Trevor Breen is clear for Ireland. Oh, Gonzalo. There'll be a lot of big smiles and a lot of cheers around this showground for that man. Very, very well done, Trevor Breen. Oh, what a star that horse looks to be.
He jumped a superb round, and I tell you, he needed to. He was just a fraction inside that time allowed. Judged to perfection.
Well, as long as you're in the time or on the time, as long as you're not over it, that is all that matters. He knew what he was doing. Brilliant, brilliant round from Trevor. Superb sport here, and well, I'm sure
You see the chef to keep Michael Blake.
Oh, you've got another team horse for us there,
Yep.
Trev. Lovely to see. Well deserved, Trevor Breen. Now we go back to Brazil, and now we really do go up those world rankings. The Longines world rank number 8. It is Marlon Madonna Zanatelli here with Harwich VDL. Brilliant performance the other day, helped Brazil onto the podium in that Nations Cup competition. It's a horse, in fact, originally produced by James Billington, and he jumped it in 5-star competition in Aachen and Ganoka for the first time prior to coming here. But it looks like he's got a lot of potential, certainly a lot of scope.
I mean, you saw him from fence 1, he dropped quickly back after it, really tight back to fence 2, up in the 5 jump Prix, tight back to the water, moved up, and so far an exhibition. This man is such a talent. He's not number 8 in the world by chance. He's there because he wins. He's such a perfectionist.
He's got that great horse, BDL Edgar M, that he rode in Tokyo last year and has won some major Grand Prix with him.
And again, for those of you aspiring Grand Prix riders, look at the position, look at the balance, look at the support. Even though the horse twisted, he stayed exactly in the middle. Bit of pressure here now. Good.
Oh, could this be? Could this be 2 in a row? Yes, it will be. As well, it'll be 2 for Brazil. It is 6 in all now, through to the jump off against the clock in the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Mala Madonna Zanatelli is clear, the world number 8. Well, that is certainly building into being quite some jump off, John Letterman.
It is indeed. I mean, I spoke to Alvin earlier on. I said, you know, how many clears? And he said, well, I'll have all the good ones.
Well,
but he was saying between 8 and 12 he would love. He has 8. It'll be a superb jump off, but he might be right with his 12.
We'll find out. We will find out in due course. But congratulations, Mala Madonna Zanatelli, proving every bit why he's one of the best in the world. Now to a man that was one of the best in the business here on Friday with a super double clear, fresh off the back of the Nations Cup win as well in Falsterbo. This is Cohen Verriek riding then Lecter van der Bischop for Belgium. Belgium having a good day so far because Peter Clemens is clear, Olivier Philipparts is clear. Will that run continue with this team?
How often, Garrett, can you get the full team clear in the Grand Prix after winning the Nations Cup?
Not today.
Not today. And again, the water being influential. And sometimes when you move the horses, because there's a gradient, they get a little worried. They're thinking, okay, why am I moving up so quickly to jump just a little water? And then they see the blue, and like I spoke about the water ditches, that blue water can have a reflection, little wind on it, it moves, it changes the visual, and then the horse goes, okay, what's there?
And you've got that little brush in front of it. There's no related line to it today. You're coming off a turn away from home, and the horses with that brush, you are coming up the rise, aren't you? You wouldn't see it perhaps until you're a stride or 2 away.
And sometimes that's a help, and sometimes it's a hindrance. I would prefer that bush than the open white rail where they see it from 20 strides away.
Well, again, at the stop of the water, just decides to leave it alone. Not today, but then look at that, really sensible. Just there was nothing to be scared of, nothing to be worried about, and that will help keep the confidence for the future, because there'll be other water jumps at other shows, and hopefully next time things can turn out a little different. Just came all legs on. He knew he was going to be struggling a couple of strides away, but respecting the facts, but the horse on this occasion said no. Well, we stick with 2 clears for Belgium so far. Little Pat, superb the other day, double clear, as I said, well, in that Nations Cup, but it...
Which means he had to jump the water twice, the other direction.
I was about to say it was the other way round, and he came off that double to it. Next to go, it's Sweden. Happiness DKZ's rider is Angeli von Essen. She was on that winning Nations Cup team for Sweden here back in 2019 when they lifted the Edward Prince of Wales trophy. One of the great lady riders in the world. She's actually based right here in the UK, but today fence 2 goes down.
And fence 2, your first challenge, really.
It's quite narrow.
It's narrow, and it's got 2 poles, and it's 160 high, so it's airy, and if they're not really focused on the top rail, they'll make the mistake that Angelina's horse made. And you'll see also when they make the mistake, when you watch it again, you'll see how uneven the technique was in front. So they just misread it. Again, drifted a little bit left over the auction on the way in, clipped the back rail. very good on the Hickstead planks. And Roxler. Now back to the double up gates. Add a little rub going in. Clear on the way out. Now back. Interesting to see how this horse now has a look at this double up ditches up the hill. Little look going in and jumped really well.
We will pick up a couple of time faults on top of the 12 for jumping as she lands, and it is 2 for time. 14 as a score. Angelique Van Essen was plenty we liked in that round, but unfortunately it hasn't quite worked out. It has worked out at the moment for 6 of them because we've got 6 clear rounds. One of those is the man for Ireland, and I think Hannah's found Trevor Breen.
Thanks, Gareth. Trevor, not to put too fine a point on it, but the King George V Gold Cup is the one piece of Hickstead hardware that you're missing from the collection, isn't it? Into the jump-off.
Yeah, it's great to be in the jump-off. Yeah, but I mean, it's like any class. There's you want to win all these Grand Prix that you enter, and there's 47 other guys with the same idea as me, so it's certainly not over yet.
The big question is Gonzalo, your horse, a speedy Gonzalez?
Well, I think we're just going to have to find out in about half an hour's time.
We can't wait. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, we'll look forward to finding out in that jump off just how speedy Gonzalo will be. But he is up against some tough opposition. When you look at the lineup from Jesco Hussein Mosquita Musa, the winner of the speed class yesterday, Peter Clemens there for Belgium, Robert Whittaker, Olivia Philipparts, and world number 8 Marlon Modelo Zanatelli are all in there alongside Trevor Breen at the moment. But maybe for this man we will see as well the world number 14, the superstar for Great Britain. He's off to the World Games in a couple of weeks' time. This the horse that took him to that famous win in the Grand Prix at the London International Horse Show at Olympia when he won the double to win the World Cup round alongside it. It is, of course, Harry Charles here with Bossato. This is a competition that his dad won. That would have been back in 2009. Peter on Mercus Pall Mall. What can Harry do today? Oh!
Well, Harry is a really talented young man, and his world ranking and where he is says it all. And I would love to see him in this jump off because we have 6, and if he gets in there, he will try and win this. And I really like the way this young man rides. Love the control he has with his body. Love the way the lower leg is there. See that even contact. He's also working the horse through his body up into that big round canter.
Ooh,
kept him off that gate.
Has he got away with the gates? It looked to be a little bit of wobbling in the air.
Little rub there. Brave to the ditches.
Very brave jumping, very, very strong round, but could it be? Will it be? Can he do it? Oh, yes, he can. Harry Charles. Sensation that he is, and a sensational round on Bossato to give Great Britain their second clear. And this story, this journey that this young man is on just continues to go forward. Time and time again we've said this week, and we've been watching over the last few years the generation, this new generation come through, but it is here, it is solidly here, and Harry is leading that, very much part of it. Brilliant performance, John Ledingham.
Absolutely brilliant, and you know, when you want to keep a horse off a gate, you've got a lot of leg, you need a lot of leg, you need a lot of support, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this jump off.
It's just bubbling up nicely, bubbling up nicely. Let's get this man in as well, and it'll just be, well, there are plenty more I'd love to see get through. This man, of course, is Kevin Staub, another of the world's top ranked riders. It is for France, the world number 10 on those Longines rankings, individual European champion of 2009, team gold medal winner at the Olympics in 2016. He is one of the sport's best, and he's here today with James Bond De Hay.
I love to watch this guy ride because he's tall, but he's light, he's effective, and he's such a competitor. He rarely makes a mistake. He gives the horses every opportunity to jump by themselves, for themselves. This is a tall horse. He's a big horse, big stride. And he's just held together so lovely, such nice balance. Four fences, time looks okay. 4 fences from home. 3 obstacles from home.
No. And that's the thing, you just don't know when and how things might change. You kept on the edge of your seat with a round like you've just seen from Harry Charles, and he got there, and the emotion. And then you think with a round from Kevin that he's going to get there, and then, you know...
Well, to have a look and stop and then just come back and jump it like that. Kevin never expected that.
No, but it also shows the quality of just keeping that horse calm and just keeping the confidence. 20 is memory from time. It was just the stop. He left every fence standing. But it means we don't get to see Kevin Stout in that jump-off round. So unfortunately, it's still not yet worked out for the French riders here today. 2 for Great Britain, 2 for Belgium, and 2 for Brazil and Ireland. Having a little look at the water is our next to go, Joe Stockdale. Joe, who's saving his best horse, Equine America Cacharel, for the World Championships in 10 days' time. He'll be part of the team with Harry, Ben Mayer and Scott Brash. I mean, Joe has had a phenomenal season. He is one of, again, our now standout stars for the British team, and today he rides here with Bingo de Chateau. Joe's dad Tim won this, of course his late father Tim Stockdale, the great Tim Stockdale, on the great Calico Bay back in 2010. This horse, we'll wait to see how it works out today.
Interesting now how he showed him the water and the horse was a little afraid of it, and then he came back again. And there's different theories. Should you or shouldn't you? At this stage in their career, they've jumped lots of water.
Worked for him.
That was the right decision. And he jumped it really well. Now he just needs to be watchful of the time. He gave him a lot of room to the water.
Oh, the bricks.
And bricks in front again.
It's quite a few riders out now today, isn't it?
I think that's number 5. And super on the Hickstead flanks. This guy is a real talent, isn't he?
I mean, he's a superstar. He falls into that category of this new generation that is now part of the now. That we're not waiting for them to get to the top. They are the top. And they're able. Okay, he's had 8 faults so far today, but they are more than capable on any stage on any day.
And that's what we need. Just had the front rail off there.
It is a new horse this year to him, and as I say, his top ride being saved, but certainly a performance to build from. 16 it is for Joe Stockdale and Bingo de Chateau, but there'll be other days he will come back, and you never know what will happen in the future in this class for that young man. He has worked very hard to get himself into this position, and good luck at those World Championships. Well, 16 the score for Joe. A little puff of the cheeks. It's hard work out there. Much easier to be stood on the side, just enjoying your day, especially if you're a little doggy, when you don't even have to walk because you can be carried. Yep, lots of people enjoy the jumping. 4-legged friends and more. Right, here we go to Ireland, and this tremendous partnership that have been on 2 5-star winning Nations Cup teams this year, both in Canada and in the USA. And this man, who's based in the USA, made the trip to be with us. This the top ride for him as well. It's C Top Blue, Andrew Bournes. You wouldn't bet against them.
No, it's He's well capable. He's jumped double 2 rounds in 5-Star Nation Cups. And Andrew was talking to him earlier, and he was saying how focused he is and that the horse is in very good form.
Oh, now that'll be... Oh, not close.
Now back in this difficult line. Can he leave this 160 Hickstead wall standing?
Yes.
Opted to go on the 8. Nice and straight. Weight up, weight up. Quiet to the flank now. Quiet to the flank. Good. Now the next challenge, the double of gates. Give him a little bit of room on the way in. Sit tall. Good. Now to your Longines Oxer. Now he's got to get square in this double of ditches. Give the horse time to look where he's going, yet have enough pace and support.
Time. Keep an eye on the time. Will he get in on the 82? He's going to jump the fences. He's not. Oh no. 0.3 of a second, and that is the difference between a clear and a fault. It's a 1 fault score. He misses out Andrew Bournes. What a shame for Ireland. But down with Hannah is Harry Charles.
Thanks very much, Gareth. Harry, the big question I think everyone is asking as they watched you jump that round was, how did you get over that double of gates?
Well, actually, it felt pretty good, and then I heard everyone making some noises, so maybe it didn't look as good as it felt, but no, the horse jumped the whole course really good, and hopefully second round will also jump as good.
7 so far in the jump off. Are you expecting a few more, or will you have that last place that everyone covets?
No, I wish I would have the last place, but I don't think I'm going to. I think there'll be maybe 10, maybe more, so it should be a good jump off.
Certainly should be. Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Oh, a good jump off it will be. That is absolutely guaranteed the way it's set itself up already. But certainly good to see Harry through. But Andrew Bournes, what a shame for him. That one time fall will be heartbreaking. 0.3 of a second, John Ledingham.
That's probably the biggest heartbreak he'll have this year, probably, because the way the horse jumped that course so easily within his capabilities, gave an exhibition, and then to be 0.3 over, it is so disappointing.
Will Edwards now, and what is more disappointing, SHW Candies B, I mean, heartbreak again, because it's the first fence that goes down, although he struggled a little bit now at the second as well, making his appearance debuting at 5-star. Wherever you get the fault, it's not what you're looking for.
No, and when you have the first 2 down, but hopefully now he's going to jump this big track and gain from what this big track has to offer in education, because you don't get to jump these tracks a lot.
And I think he's going to leave it alone. I don't think, but it's a horse that's got plenty to give. It has certainly jumped well in the past, but I think today, like we've seen with a few, you just know that moment comes. They do, the riders do, they understand their horses, and when it's not quite going to plan, I think, like you were saying, sometimes there's a point to continue because there's something to learn from, but sometimes, you know, I guess in yourself with the way the horse feels, that it's just a day to put your hand up.
Absolutely, and you know, it's a second or mini-second decision that you make, and if you've had 2 fences down, your real focus of a clear round is gone. The reality of a clear round is gone. The reality of winning is gone. So it's those decisions you make.
Absolutely. As we look to Belgium, another star for Belgium, another in the world's top 50. The young man, Gilles Thomas, he had a illustrious youth career coming through those youth European ranks. Belgium seem to excel in producing young jockeys, again dominant this year in the youth Europeans in show jumping, in both young riders and juniors. But this man has gone on last time out in Falsterbo and the Division 1 series. He was on the winning Nations Cup team, and again on the team this horse is out of Tino 13. This is quite a new ride to him, but it did jump well in the 5-star in Belgium recently.
And he's jumped the first. Back to the second fence, 160 vertical, easy. Up on the 5, Beautiful. What a beautiful back end technique this horse has. Jumps water. Up on the 7 after the water. We could be looking at another clear round here.
It's gone well for Belgium. Oh, he got away with the little brick. Have you seen it? It's teetering. It's teetering on the edge.
Well, for him, he's saying, please stay, please stay.
Yeah, we want that to fall down.
Now up on these next oxer. Now, can he jump the double of Hickstead gates? Very good in, very good out. The hind end technique in this horse is extravagant. How's he on his time?
At the moment, it's on a knife edge. I think he should be fine. 82. Just one to jump, and Belgium having a brilliant day, because that makes 3. Gilles Thomas and Artino 13 go clear to give us 8 clears now in the opening round of this, the Longines King George V Gold Cup. There's the top 5 of them in terms of the first 5 we saw of Francesco Mesquita Musa. You've got Peter Clemens, Robert Whittaker, Olivia Philipparts, Trevor Breen, and then Marlon Madonna, Zanatelli, Harry Charles and Gilles Thomas. That's the lineup for the jump-off at the moment. And like I said, I think you have to go a long way back in history to when Belgium last won this trophy. And they've got 3 chances here today. Doesn't mean anything, though, at the moment, because that is quite some lineup of superstars in that second round against the clock. So I think we've caught right up with him straight away, down with Hannah.
Thanks, Gareth. We're going to attempt this one on horseback. Gilles, a super round of jumping. You Belgians are loving this track today, aren't you?
Yeah, I think not so bad. We are now for the moment with 3 in the jump off, so yeah, we have a good team spirit and that helps. Everybody helps each other, so it's nice.
You will of course get to watch your teammates go first before you in the jump off. How much of an advantage is that 8 to go?
Yeah, we are already with 8, so I think it will be a quick jump off. So yeah, we will see.
Best of luck.
Well, what a brilliant performance it was from Gilles Thomas, and it means that the list has grown by 1 more, 8 as it stands, but we are far from done in the opening round of this, the Longines King George V Gold Cup. There are many top combinations left to go. Let's catch up with those after the break.
Yet to feature in this class, and upcoming several strong combinations for Great Britain, for Ireland, for Brazil as well into the final view here. Making his way in now is a man who follows in the footsteps too of another great in the sport. His father Michael won this title on 4 occasions, that last time with Midnight Madness back in '94. It is the next generation, Jack Whittaker. Jack, who already is blazing a trail of his own way, having been top 5 of the Longines World Cup finals this year. He's also been performing brilliantly on the Nations Cup teams for Great Britain with the performances in St. Gallen and Rotterdam this year as well. Finished well individually at both those shows too. On the 13-year-old stallion, you rode at that World Cup finals. My Lord Catano is Equine America, Valmy Netherland. Great Britain's Jack Whittaker.
Back with Jack Whittaker here with Equine America, Valmy Dalan, the British star. His dad, of course, a 3-time winner, a 4-time winner of this trophy, Michael Whittaker. But Jack, like we've seen, another of these young British stars that's now at the top of his game in the senior sport. He was 5th in that World Cup final in Leipzig this year on this horse. That week he never touched a pole. Can he do that here today?
And Jack has really been jumping well here all week. second in a very good class yesterday. Love that line. You can see how straight the horse is.
Oh, just looked like he got a little deep.
And that it is 2 quiet strides in that combination.
Oh, slipped a bit as well.
You know that this course is proving difficult everywhere, from the first fence to the last fence. Jumped that double of gates really, really well. I think this Longines Oxer is one of the few fences that hasn't fallen down yet today. Had a good look.
Oh, got in a muddle. Just got caught in the poles, and I have a feeling he's not going to jump the last, obviously. So what a shame for Jack. Whether he'll just come back, I think he might, just to let the horse have a little bit of confidence, come back and jump another fence. Whether that is the last or not, he's just having a little look around, trying to make his mind up as to what he thinks is best for Velami. Best just to finish it off. Well, Jack Whittaker today not to be with Equine America Velami Delande, and he's already proved this year with that World Cup and some tremendous performances for the British team on the Nations Cup circuit. What a big star he is.
Well, we're down to the last 10 riders now, Gareth, isn't that right?
We've got 11 to go, so we're nearly
11.
there. But
there you saw he was a little bit. Once they look and take off the forward motion, and they end up a good long way up that second oxer.
Well, there's this beautiful setting. But now you can see the flags fluttering rather nicely. It's a beautiful day now because it's moved that little bit of drizzle away that we had earlier. Georgia Tame, this Arana Ticos de Revel for the British star that was part of the European Championship team for Great Britain last year in Risenbeck. Building this new team, new string of horses. This will be a really good test for where these two are at the moment. It's an 11-year-old mare. Just been a few months together, and she just gets caught at that second fence.
And that second fence has fallen down a lot today. Quite empty. 160, 162. Jumped the water very well. This combination has been good all year, hasn't it? Very scopy. Nice and high and wide on that Hickstead wall.
Now she's got in a muddle as well, and therefore they will sound the klaxon. I think it's a combination that have got a lot to give in the future. I just think it's still early days in their time together.
And when you make a little mistake like that, there is no room for a mistake at this level.
She also then retires, as you would understand. So Arana Ticos de Revel and Georgia Tame also having a few problems, but then just deciding to take themselves for a different day. We'll have another little look back here.
Just too deep on the way in, landed on the back pole, which took away all the forward. Then you see how light those cups are, and those poles are light. They just pushed out of the way.
You see those sort of what look like waistcoats the riders in some cases are wearing. Those are the new sort of air jacket safety features that they wear. Well, there is another young fan for the future of the sport, somebody that's certainly enjoying her day out at Hickstead, as are many here. It's been great to see. There you go. Hello, we can see you. Many young fans enjoying what they love best, which is horses and ponies, and they're all here, all shapes and sizes, but especially in this big class. Plenty of eyes. There's Trevor watching on Michael Blake. The eyes now on Shane Breen, and this is Mr. Grand. Of course, Shane yesterday made his own little piece of history when he, for the third time, lifted the Queen Elizabeth II Cup, and he also, of course, this year won his first ever derby here at Hickstead, the Al Shearer Derby, back at the end of June. That, though, with other horses than this one today. This is a 9-year-old that he jumped on the team the other day, and clear and 4. It was almost a soft 4, but nevertheless, this is one I think we've got very used to watching him on the Great Ipswich, but if there was one coming through that really is standing out from the crowd, so far it has been a Vista Grand for Shane Green.
Yes, he really jumped super the other day, and it's showing so much potential. I think he'd be very excited about this one. Can he join brother Trevor in the jump off?
That'll be the plan.
Very good on his ball. Down to this combination.
No, he won't be joining his brother. He's coming down over that big brush at the bottom. He'll turn back up to the plank. And the gate, I should say, which he jumps really well.
This is a really nice horse for the future, isn't he?
Yeah, well, just a 9-year-old.
You can see now how he copes with his double ditches. Brave, scopy, easy.
Well, he lands to finish on the 4. 80.25 is in on the clock, but it is 4, unfortunately, for Shane Green and Vista Grand. So 1 clear currently for the Irish, and it's the other Breen, not Shane Breen.
I think Shane will be... It'll be 2...
Yeah, no, Shane just having another little look here. He just caught the back rail there of that combination, just maybe tensing up a little bit, and that's the sort of all it takes, maybe, is a little bit of tension just creeping in, and suddenly you can have a pole just like that. There's the order, I should say order, that's the order. They'll come back in the jump off at the moment. Those are the clears. Francesco, Jose Mosquito Musa, Peter Clements, Robert Whittaker, Olivia Philipparts, and then of course you've got Trevor Breen in there as well, Marla Madonna Zanatelli, and Harry Charles along with Gilles Thomas. Those are the clears so far. Now, a man that knows exactly what it's like to win it. He's done it on 3 occasions with Ryan, Sun, Milton and Wellham in the past. He is, of course, the legend John Whittaker for Great Britain. Equine America, Unique de Frankfurt, a ride that has been a big part of the team set up yet again for John this year. He's been on the British teams. He was here, jumped clear in the second round of the Nations Cup on Friday. But today you hear the collective groan of the crowd as the second fence goes down.
What a shame, because you can just imagine the reception that this man gets when he comes to the ring, and the reception he would get if he jumped clear round and if he won this for the 4th time. You've got to admire the skill of the man. Everything happens within a control zone. When you watch his hands, they're strong when they have to be, soft when he has to be. They're never too aggressive. Leg off the floor. Even contact on the rein. That's how you jump a double of gates. Back up to the double of ditches now. Second last fence.
Unbelievable, just that second fence. He's going to pick up time faults as well, though. 7 in the end. He's going to the World Games as the 5th man this time round, a 6-time Olympian, as we would know. He's, you know, I've talked today about the up-and-coming, the now-present part of the future of the sport with the younger riders, but this man is not going anywhere. He is still as good as he ever has needed him to be. Today it didn't quite work out, but John Whittaker is still one of the best in the business,
and still really enjoying his jumping. He really is enjoying it.
Absolutely, he is. So John there on a total of 7. in that opening round. We are now down to 8 left to go, with 8 clear rounds so far in this €150,000 prize-funded Longines King George V Gold Cup here at the All England Jumping Course at Hickstead. So, it's a shame for John, he won't be part of it, but at the moment there's plenty in it that are going to make it sparkle when we get to that round against the clock. I cannot wait, but maybe 1 or 2 more stars we will find out, because Brazil have another chance now in the form of Luis Felipe Contísio Goncalves de Silveira Filho. He rides Hermes van der Vromsporhova, this experienced gelding Belgian warm blood. Hermes jumped to the Nations Cup final last year. It's also jumped on Nations Cup teams this year, and here and in St Gallen.
And a lot of experience in this combination. 15-year-old horse.
I looked at the other day, there's every reason to think it could be suddenly be 3 for Brazil alongside 3 for Belgium.
There is, and it's interesting the way the course has sort of developed, in that if you get the first 3 fences out of the way, then you seem to have a breather with the water for most and the oxer. Then you get back to this line, which has, this wall has taken out a lot of competitors. The first part of the combination has been knocked down 6 times. Middle has jumped well. The going out part has been knocked down 3 times. The plank, Hickstead plank, has been on the floor. I don't think anything has had this fence down.
No, nothing seems to have been drawn in by the brush.
Now we're back to the next difficulty, this Hickstead double of gates. Good balance. And good jump.
I'd just be getting a little worried about the time, is my concern already.
He's got to move up, but
I don't actually think he can get there in the time that he's got left. Which will be a shame, because he's jumped everything. And he's jumping the double of ditches without trouble, but he isn't going to get in on the clock. As I said at the start, it is an equally important part of the course, or the test, is jumping the fences, although the marks goes down as well. So suddenly it becomes a total of 9. When you can pick up any money with that, but for disappointment for what was otherwise a really strong performance, and I think you can see the disappointment on his face.
yes, and you wouldn't blame him, because the horse deserved a clear round, and it's up to the rider to make sure that they're up on their tempi. So he jumped a superb round, but just needed to be a little tighter, 1 or 2 places. But it's very easy sitting here commentating on us. But the horse jumped a really, really superb round.
Now the Brazilians are watching on, but they know they have at least got 2 riders through to that jump-off round. Remember, at the moment there are 3 for Belgium. Could this man make it 4? It is Willem Vermeer next up, world number 31 on the Longines rankings. Another rider on the winning Nations Cup team recently in Falsterbo. A brilliant run of results in Aachen, although this horse wasn't the one that won, but it did finish in the top 5 twice and jumped really well at Le Boule. It's the stallion Enola Gay of 2 Notes Z.
And when you saw that shot of him walking up to the double of gates, it just makes you appreciate how tall those gates are.
Yeah. This is a 9-year-old. He almost looked like he was jumping across it.
Yes, and because the time is tight, they are jumping across it, but you don't disregard a 1.60 meter vertical as your second fence. And that the first 3 fences have taken their toll today in this Grand Prix. Back now to the 160 wall. And he's pushed out the bricks from the top. Those bricks are very light. And he might be calling it a day.
I think he is. Yep, little pat. Up goes the hand, and that is enough for them. Stepping up a little bit today with that horse, and just struggling with Elenor Gay of 2 Notes Z. I'm sure it's a horse that will come through, and we'll see at this level consistently in the future, though, with Willem Vermeer. Yeah, it was very much, in fact, more than I've seen with most, sort of cutting across that.
Looking
back at the replays as well. So the clears at the moment remain the same, 8 up, and now with 6 more to go in the opening round, and 5 of those for Great Britain, 1 of those for the USA. Will that list of clears grow any more? William Funnell, Equine America, Billy Diamo, the winner of the Derby trial here just a month ago. This gelding, of course, bred at the Billy Stud, the tremendous breeding programme of his Donald Almars and Pippers, his wife. And William with this horse on the podium with a brilliant performance in the Nations Cup in the 5-star in Abu Dhabi back at the start of the year. But he's really picked a bad moment, because suddenly the heavens have just popped and it is absolutely pouring down out there. I don't know how much you can see it on the camera, but it is really coming down.
I don't know, Gareth. I think you're getting soft. That's just light rain.
Well, not sure William will agree, because he's going to go from very dry to very wet in this round.
So far this horse is really, really good. William is on it.
Oh, little wobble to the right.
Room, support and leg.
Oh, just couldn't get there.
Anytime you lose that straightness, it makes it difficult, doesn't it?
Oh, you just saw it on the approach, didn't you? And I think he did brilliant with the first 2 parts, and he's not going to go any further. 8 faults, and deciding again as well, another. Just understandable. It's the sort of sensible thing for the riders when they realise they are at that point, just to leave it alone. And at the moment, 8 still very exciting to come back in the jump off. I reckon we could still see another yet. Still see another. Could we get to 9? Maybe 10, who knows, but William disappointed as he leaves. The rain begins to back off, but certainly was enough to bring the brollies out and put the hoods up. Well, probably a sensible place to be under a brolly. Next to go, it's the turn of Great Britain, Simon Crippen and Handsome. It's Handsome, the stallion, the 10-year-old, that has really been coming on strong, and they jumped brilliantly in the International, in the Grand Prix, the 2-star at Kisa. He jumped very well with it here in the 4-star at the Derby meeting, and it's just been getting stronger and better. And I mean, Simon's an experienced rider. He's jumped on teams in the past with a good selection of horses he had earlier in his career, and then as they move on, you go into that scenario, rebuilding. But this one is the one that is starting to bring him back up.
And he was really unlucky at that vertical. Next one down, just
he's going to retire as well. 2 fences down and out of contention.
But I would have to agree with you there that this looks like a real star of the future. Big, scoopy, rideable. Today was not his day, but I've seen him all week, and he's a really nice horse.
He is a lovely horse, and I'm sure, as I say, just one of those days, as is always the case in this sport. Poles back up, and we focus forward, because with 4 left to go, we get to have a little look back here. We barely touched them. Second fence.
That was slow falling down. That one a little quicker, but look at the back end.
Yeah, power galore. So the clears at the moment: Francisco Hudson, Mosquito Musa, Peter Clements, Robert Whittaker, Olivier Philippart, Trevor Breen, Marlon Madonna, Zanatelli, Harry Charles and Gilles Thomas. There they are. That's the lineup for the jump off, with these final 4 left to go. 3 for Great Britain, 1 for the USA. But now the turn. There you go. That indicates there is a little bit of little shower. I wouldn't want to say more, John.
Well, I'd say it's probably getting heavier now than it was. But
there you go. Well, I'll leave the weather conversation alone for the moment. And now it's the turn of a very wet-looking William Fletcher. He's made his 5-star debut here this week, and he's done it with a great deal of class. Of course, son of William and Tina Fletcher, and this horse, Valento, jumped well down in Italy, and really has, alongside his brother Ollie, grasped the opportunity to compete this week in this 5-star event. Now, though, this would be his first, therefore, quite obviously, 5-star Grand Prix.
And he's very conscious of the time. You saw he jumped the first fence and dropped back quickly. The second, very nice, high and wide there. And superb there as well. He's got to move up to the water now. Not too much, just enough. And he really jumped that. Rebalanced. Tight back to this Hickstead wall now, 163. And into this difficult line. Solid wall. On the 7. It's tall. And good. Now he's got to balance down the hill to this tall planks. Back around to the Oxer, 170 wide and 50 tall. Now the double the gates. He's been tight, Garrett, but the time is still going to be close enough, isn't it?
It is running on him, and I'm starting to think he's now in trouble with the time. He's right on the margin.
He's got a balance here.
He is as close as he's ever going to be, but the time is almost going to run away from him. He's jumped it, but the clock has done him. So he will look up and see what it means. That is a phenomenal performance from a young man in his very first 5-star International Grand Prix, the Longines King George V Gold Cup, and to jump round for 2 faults. I mean, yeah, the shake of the head. I mean, yeah, I can work out what he just said as well.
He cannot believe that he's had a time fault, because he was so focused, so concentrated, and he did a fantastic job. The horse was superb, and when you squander an opportunity like that, you're going to be so unhappy with yourself, and he's faced that at all.
But what a great prospect to come back and be given more chances. I mean, he's grasped this 5-star chance, and when you think Di will be here, she'll be watching, he'll get another go now.
He certainly deserves another go.
So unfortunate, 2 is a score. It means that for the moment he will go into the top 10, because you've got to remember, with 8 clears, that 1 fault of Andrew Bourne's holding 9th, 10 as it stands. Will that be enough even to pick up any pounds and pence? We wait to see, with 3 to go. What a partnership these two are. It is Ellen Whittaker, Equine America Space Cake. I love the name. And Ellen, of course, has been a star of the sport for many, many years. Right the way back was 2007 when she was on that team that won bronze at the Europeans. And now she's got this horse, and it's seen her back on team competition once again. On the podium with the British team in Falsterbo. Double clear in Rome. She was on the team in Rotterdam. Can she play a part here today?
Well, so far the rain doesn't seem to be bothering her or the mare, and this lady has a lot of experience, a lot of talent, and then for a little while just dropped off the top because she didn't have the horsepower to compete at this level, so she's rebuilt and found her superstar. So far this is foot perfect.
Oh, again, that plank at the bottom of the slope.
Back to our double of gates now.
But you don't lose that talent just because you haven't got the top horse. The talent is bringing the next one through as well, isn't it, John? And that's what she's done.
She has, and today was not her day. And she had the first part double gates down, mare in 2 strides and at 1 stride distance, and she's decided to call her a day. But we will see her again.
Yeah, it's great that she has got this ride, and she's got a good stable. It isn't just Equine America Space Cake. There's more than one in the stable that is certainly performing at the top of the sport now for Ellen. Well, that looks a good way to keep dry, wrapped up, under and rug together. Meanwhile, we just look back at the plank going down.
And that the jump just got so forward there. I mean, before that she was absolutely foot perfect.
Well, that leaves us 2 to go, and still we sit on 8 clear rounds in this Longines King George V Gold Cup. It's Great Britain and the USA left in the draw. Here's the last of the British challengers. Of course, Great Britain with 2 clears so far. It is now the turn of Carl Robbins, and another that's grasped every chance they've been given this year. It's Equine America G. Camille HBF. They've made the chances. They jumped well on the Nations Cup team down in Lisbon. They were third in the Grand Prix in Madrid, alongside another Nations Cup outing. And we saw this again yesterday, and again it jumped a beautiful clear in that ranking class.
It did, and he's another victim of that second fence. I'm not sure how many times that has fallen down today, but it has been very influential. Super on the water.
It just gets caught.
First horse today to knock that down, I think. So we can safely say that, like we discussed during the week, that the sign of a good course is that not one particular line or one particular fence is the main challenge to the riders.
No, it's been a good spread, and the only fence I think that hasn't fallen is the one he's about to come to. Well, and again, fences have fallen, no need to go any further. Save the jumping for the next show. Carl Robbins, Equine America G. Camille HBF. So he also retires. We are nearly ready to get to that jump off. Unfortunately for Carl, it isn't going to be that he gets to play his part, but at the moment the lineup is something else. What a jump off. If you've enjoyed this, you're going to enjoy what is still to come. There is one more to go, though. There is one more card to play in round number one. It could well be that we get one for the United States as well, with the USA's Charlotte Jacobs and Endosita the last in. At the moment there are 8. Will it stay that way, or can this ride make it number 9? Charlotte, who is based actually in Ireland, she's been on Nations Cup teams, dropped some brilliant rounds in Madrid and Lisbon. She was a standout star coming through the youth ranks in the early part of her career.
Yes, she's based in Ireland with Greg Broderick down near Cashel. Has been there for a number of years. Regular now saw at the World Championships for young horses last year, so she has a full team of horses, producing her own. Very talented rider. And got the first 3 fences out of the way. Now move up to this water. Jumps that really well. On the 7 strides after the water. Just needs to rebalance down, jump this tall wall. And she's pushed out the brick. To the Hickstead flanks.
Yeah, that's as well.
Toe on that as well. We did say when we walked the course this was the giveaway fence, even though it's 150, 170 wide, and it's the only fence on the course that hasn't fallen down today. So again, Kelvin Bywater has produced a superb spectacle for us to watch, and really looking forward to this 8-horse jump off.
What a jump off we've got in store. Unfortunately not for Charlotte to be part of it there for the USA, but the lineup is complete as she finishes on a score of 12 for jumping and 2 for time. Our focus now will very much begin to turn towards round number 2, the jump off round of the Longines King George, the 5th Gold Cup for 2022, as of course with those 8 clear clear rounds, it has certainly set itself up to be a cracker. Here they are. Francesca Jose Mosquito Musa will go first, for the first of 2 for Brazil. Peter Clemens, the first of 3 for Belgium. Robert Whittaker, son of the former winner, the great John Whittaker. Olivia Philipparts and a Blue Diamond, Van der Oosterhoff for Belgium. Then you've got, of course, the Irish challenger, Trevor Breen. The Brazilian challenge once more from Marlon Madonna Zanatelli. Harry Charles for Great Britain, looking to follow in his dad's footsteps. And Gilles Thomas, of course, is clear as well. He will have that ultimate pole position draw, the last to go. He will at least know what he needs to do. And fascinating, because when we spoke to Harry down at the collector ring, he thought there'd be a few clears come after him, and he's actually ended up second last to go in this jump off against the clock. So that could, maybe, will that play to his advantage? It's always harder if you go first, because you've got to try and work it out and set the standard as you go. There's been some brilliant performances up and down the field here today. A world-class lineup of horses and riders has certainly given their all. Plenty didn't quite go to plan, and they just decided that they would retire, and that's why you'll see those all at the end of the list in this Longines King George V Gold Cup. But this is some jump off John Ledingham.
It really is, and it's you know, when I look at the jump off track, he's going to use the full ring again. So the full size of this Hickstead ring, he's going to use the gradients.
And that will give them plenty of room to pick up pace and go galloping, won't it?
Yes, it's designed to be quick and fast.
Well, we'll look forward to all that is coming our way with that jump off against the clock here very shortly. We'll be back at Hickstead.
Well, Hickstead for the jump off for this Longines King George V Gold Cup. If you take a look at the screen, we'll run you through exactly how this will work for the jump off. Again, Kelvin Bywater, our course designer here. So swinging in as we look at the screen, it is going to be fence 5 starting us off. It is going to be the Ashley underriding fence going up around the Irish bank. We're coming to the wall again this time. We saw the bricks flicking off those on several occasions. Maybe 7 on the inside line here to the what is now a double, the Longines double. 7AB was a triple combination in the previous round. Very different line now as they go to 3. That's the San and Red coming down the arena. And then to fence 15 is a new one that comes onto track as the Regency vertical just going past the members' lawn. And down the arena then to fence 16, the great lattice in the green colours of fence 16. 10A and B, the gates come into play once again here, and finally to 11 going to the Longines fence after that at the last. Just 10A this time, so just the one gate in what was the double. So with a time allowed of 67 seconds, that is the course. 5, 6, 7AB, 3, new fence 15 going past the members. 16 is the lattice. 3 lattice coming down the arena past the water, and then 10A, the gates, they're just putting the final touches to that, and then finally to the Longines boxer at the last. We also say a huge thank you to our arena team led by Kelvin Bywater. For what a team they are here till very late at night, very early in the morning as well. We asked together for them as they put the finishing touches.
Welcome back. We are almost there. The final preparations underway down at the collecting ring. They're revving up, pouring the ground, getting set. There's 150,000 euros worth of prize money on offer, and it is without question one of the most valuable and historic trophies in equestrian sport that is up for grabs. The Longines King George V Gold Cup, the jump off against the clock, has 8 to return to battle it out for this title that dates all the way back to 1911. The jump off course set as it was by Kelvin Bywater in the opening round, and full marks to Kelvin throughout this week and once again today on his amazing efforts with his great team out there. But the track, let's zoom in, let's have a little look at where we're going in round number 2. Starting over that fence that came after the water, fence 5. Roll back round the corner, keep it tight. That big wall, 1.60 m plus, is where they then come down to what was the first 2 parts. You've got that 8 strides down, maybe 7 in this one, to the double. What is a double now? Parallel to upright. Then it's a long old looping run, because you're coming all the way up the ring towards the entrance to that fence 3 from the opening round. And then we come to one of 2 new fences. Up besides the Masters box, over fence number 15, and then round the corner to this parallel. It's right across the middle. They're going to have to try and jump it on the angle. It's fence 16. Then they'll come to what is the gate. That's now the second from home. It was the first part of the double, and then it's a long old gallop all the way, and it is a slight angle. They've got a twist to get to the last. You can see it's not quite straight as you run towards the grandstand. The Longines fence to finish is the final fence to challenge these horses and riders. There's Marlon Madonna Zanatelli, the world number 8, is part of this draw. He, with Harwich VDL, is 6th in the draw. One of 2 Brazilian riders looking to follow in the footsteps of Yuri Mansell, the only Brazilian to have won this title in the past. There's your lineup. Francisco Jose Mesquita Musa, the winner yesterday. Unbelievably Belgium with 3. Then you've got to go back, as I said, to somewhere a long time ago, 1931, the last time Belgium won this title. Peter Clemens, Robert Whittaker, looking to follow in Dad's footsteps. Could he do that today and make it a win for a Whittaker here? Or will it be Trevor Breen to complete the set for Ireland? Marlon Madonna Zanatelli, well, that would be great, as well as Harry Charles Bassato. He seems to always find his way to the top on the big occasion. He's had the most amazing year. Can it continue for the young British star, or will the young Belgium star? Don't rule out Gilles Thomas at the end. It is not over until Aretino crosses the line. We do not know what is going to happen, apart from the fact I am confident in saying we are about to deliver a world-class jump-off, John Ledingham.
We are indeed. And having looked at that jump-off and having walked it earlier, I tell you, the horse that can run and jump is going to win this Grand Prix. Because there's one distance on it from the Hickstead wall to the combination, to the Longines combination. That's been reduced to a 2-part combination. Part A is gone. So apart from that, so if you start from fence 5, which is the fence after the water in the first round, roll back to your Hickstead wall, first part combination gone, so that would probably ride up on the 8 or 9. Then you turn left back to your first fence, and from there home it is open spaces and as fast as you can go, and be careful.
Well, the first to go is heading on up. It's a long walk, just final moments of preparation, team all around him. He was the winner yesterday in the speed class, and yesterday, I mean, you say that the win's going to go to the one that can run and jump. Different horse today, but we said that yesterday about the way he rode. He let his horse run, he let his horse jump. If he can do it again today, you just don't know. It's never easy when you go first, because you are the one that's got to set things up and set the standard. There's no reference point to watch, which will always give the last to go that little bit more of an advantage. But it could go any which way here this afternoon. The Longines King George V Gold Cup is up for grabs once more in 2022. Who's it going to be? The first to go, Francisco Jose Mesquita Musa, is the first of the 2 challengers that are looking to win that trophy, the solid gold trophy, originally presented back in 1911 by King George V. Who can win it today? We'll find out, because it can only but go to a brand new winner. There will be a new name attached to that history here this afternoon. This horse, Carte de Bleu PS Marathon, is the first out. The race begins here. Brazil with 2, Belgium with 3, Great Britain with 2, and Ireland in there as well.
So, 10-year-old jumped a superb first round. 8 of the 48 starters have only gone clear. I'll talk you through fence after the water, quick around the bank, back to the 162, little room, very good. Up on 7 big stride, but ran too deep, had it down. Now I see what I'm talking about when he's got to gallop across the ring.
It's a long old way.
It's a long way, and again a long way up under the private boxes, tall vertical, 160, and then a long way around to the balustrade, round the water. I'm looking forward to seeing them galloping here. And then a long way forward again, back to the second of the gates.
Careful.
Distance home.
Well, he's coming home. He's coming home on this new line down to the Longines fence. Oh, and he's had that down as well. It falls for a total of 8 to the end of the round. 49.35 is the final time. Never was going to be easy as the first to go, and you have to just say full marks to Francesco, because all he did was put his foot down and went for it.
He did, and I think the people coming after now will say, okay, we've got to be careful jumping into that double. You've really got to watch the front weight of that oxer, and from there on it's got to be home. And then after you jump the Hickstead gate, because you're coming off the right, it's putting you very much onto an inside line, and you've got to correct that and drift out to the right and get straight. So may the best horsemen win.
Will it be Belgium? There are 3 chances, and the first of which comes from Peter Clements. Malibu de Vrigi looking really for that opening clear to really put the pressure on those that are yet to come here this afternoon.
See how tight he is around the Irish bank. Jumped across the wall, but had it behind.
It's gone.
Very good, and out. Gone again.
And this is where the advantage of going later starts to show, because they're going to know what the position is. And at the moment, you're competing against horses with falls.
And that's 3 in a row on the floor. This is not his plan. Now he's taken all the pace off. With 3 fences on the floor, he knows he's going to be bottom of the pile.
After having jumped so brilliantly in the opening round.
Just back now to that railway gate. And that's down. Just a Longines fence.
Disappointment, I am sure, after what looked to be a brilliant opening round to give us an early clear, and now unfortunately on a score of 20, as you said, John, will be at the bottom of the pile most likely here for Peter Clements and Malibu de Vrigi, but there are still 2 more to go for Belgium, and neither of which you could ever rule out. But today we stick with an 8-fault lead, and that is from Francisco Jose Mosquita Musa in 49.35. 2 have gone, 6 more left to jump.
So Gareth, you think a clear in 46 would win it?
Who knows at this point, because next up is Robert Whittaker. The last Whittaker to win this was his dad when he took it for the 3rd time back in 1997. What can Robert do on Evert, the first of 2 British rides?
He's really tight back there. He's quick. 7 strides up to the double, keep him straight. Now he's got to put the foot down. He's got to let him gallop, but he's got to gallop in balance. All the way up under the private boxes on the angle, and he is quick.
Jumps it well.
Back now around the water to the balustrade. He's got to jump this on the angle. 3 fences from home and clear.
Lands in 37.
2 fences from home and clear.
He is giving it his all. Is it his
Just
day?
1 fence.
Is it going to be a Whittaker once again in the King George? No, the last has gone. 50.20. It is the best so far. He leads the way, but with that fence down, the door is wide open for those still to come. But everything, he really went for that.
Oh, the sport can be so cruel.
Unbelievable luck. You need the rub of the green sometimes, and today it was against him.
And what a super round he had up to that. But he was travelling on the angle.
He was. You know, and he's leading at the moment. I just can't believe we're going to get there without a clear.
No, we will have a clear. But I think my 46 might be a little bit
optimistic. Belgium. Number 2 for Belgium, the second of their chances. There's so much history in this particular competition, but the name Philippe Arts is missing, and that is a name that brings its own dynasty and history to the sport. Will it be Olivier Philippe Arts' day with Le Bleu de Monde, Van der Oosterhof, the horse that took him to a bronze at the Europeans last year, in the team?
See how tight he was back there again. Room on the wall. Up on the 7 strides. In the angle out. He's sending forward. He's got to stay going because
it's such a long way. Oh, and he's had it. And the faster they have to go, John, that's when the mistakes can just creep in.
Well, it just opens the frame of the horse, and the horse gets long, and the horse can't jump off a long step.
And it's a very different type of jump off to we often see.
But it's so wide open. So who can get the horse to gallop and then shorten and balance the step and give him time to be off the floor, because this competition is wide open.
Oh, Robert Whittaker's full round at the moment still leads the way. He at the moment has just guaranteed himself a top 5 finishes, Robert, because Olivier Philippe Arts and Le Bleu de Monde, Van der Oosterhof goes into 3rd on a 12-fault score. 4, 8, 12 and 20. Those are the marks so far from the opening 4. 4 gone and 4 to go in this, the jump off for the Longines King George, the 5th Gold Cup. We've still got Ireland, we've got Brazil, Great Britain, and another chance for Belgium.
This could be Trevor Breen's day.
Who knows?
This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Trevor Breen has won the Queen's. Trevor Breen has won the Derby. He has won the Speed Derby. He has won the Aventus Challenge. And he has been a member of the winning team in a Longines FEI Nations Cup here at Hickstead. As we say farewell, we say hello to the man that's looking to complete an unprecedented set of results here in the majors at the All England jumping course. It would be historic on every level if he pulls it off.
I wonder what advice did those two gentlemen give him, his brother and the chef to keep.
Trevor Breen and Gonzalo.
Kieran 1. Tight back the 2, little space. Good. Up on the 7 to Part A. Oh, little rub.
He needs the luck.
To move up. And you can see him gallop across there. He's got to balance early and then leave the horse alone. Well ridden.
Lands in 24.
Move up, move up, move up. Tall vertical under the judges.
Jumping first.
Had a little rub.
He needs the luck. Whoever wins this is going to have the rub of the green. He's certainly rubbed 1 or 2.
Now he's really got to mind him on this tall gate.
Is this the first of the clears in the jump off for the Longines King George the 5th Gold Cup? Is it going to be an unprecedented set of results? Is it the Grand Slam of classes here at the All England jumping course at Hickstead? It would be history if he's done it. He leads Trevor Breen and Gonzalo. 53-46. Ireland top the board in this, the Longines King George the 5th Gold Cup, with 3 to go.
Now we've had 2 horses quicker, one on 49 and one on 50, so the time is beatable. But the clear round,
I was going to say, the clear, and that's where Trev played sensible,
and I think that was a very good strategy.
What a start that is, Gonzalo, for Ireland. Trevor's got another in his stable. Oh, yes, look at them.
As his brother Shane was saying, come on, get up, get up, get up. Here's it, jump it.
Oh, that is beautiful. Brilliant shots down there from Michael Blake and Shane Breen, chef to keep, and brother Shane. And now it's the turn, though, of one of the big names in the sport. This is the world number 8 on the Longines rankings. It is Mano Madonna Zanatelli and Haric VDL. Will he follow what happened in 2017 and win it for Brazil?
And the sun has come out. And the round this horse jumped in the first round was extraordinary. Absolutely class.
53.46 to beat.
On the regular distance, this is a real blood horse.
Now this is looking straight to open up there. He let the horse begin to run. He needs to land over this fence in 24 or quicker. He's done that 23.
And he's still moving. He is, I'd say he's put 2 seconds up at this stage. And again.
The split over the next fence needs to be around 40 seconds. He's got that second still in hand on Trevor.
Just 2 left to go. And he is moving. 1 fence to go, and he is travelling.
It is the last to jump. And he's jumped it clear. Marla Madonna Zanatelli. Will it be for Brazil? Have they done it for the second time? Will it be a win in the Longines King George V Gold Cup? That is the leading round. Will it be only the second win in this Gold Cup for Brazil? If it is, that was quite some performance.
Amazing performance, and the 2 rounds of this horse that jumped today have been absolutely class. But what a talent this guy is. He's just world class. He's extraordinary in his ability.
He is, and that is why he has sat so high and for so long in those world rankings, constantly inside the top 10 now for the last couple of years, and always seems, and that's another new horse at 5 stars, only his 3rd 5-star show. Superb, really strong. Brazil are happy, but there are 2 to go and 2 quick combinations left in the draw. We can look now to the next, because here he is. It is Great Britain's final challenge with a man that has launched himself up those world rankings. He's not far behind at Longines rank world number 14. Can he follow Dad? Peter won it in 2009. Britain haven't won it since 2013. They need to chase 52.03. Harry Charles and Borsato set out to try and catch Marla Madonna Zanatelli.
And he started off with a good canter, and he's moving up, and the time can be beaten. We saw that, and this is a quick horse and a quick rider.
This is the bit you've got to be so careful. Now we
he
go.
can move across.
Now 23, the split when he gets there, over the fence on the other side, needs to be clear, and he's quicker. 22 and a bit,
and he's moved up to the vertical under the private boxes. And clear.
Now the next split. Look for 39 on landing over the white fence.
And he's up by 2 seconds.
He's 37. He's there in terms of time.
He can't go slow down. Just got to be careful.
Dad won it in 2009. Great Britain haven't won it since 2013. Can Harry Charles win it in 2022? The Longines King George V Gold Cup is in his hands. The story just continues. This superstar of British sport is certainly at the top of his game, and there seems absolutely no limit to what he can do. He leads Harry Charles and Borsato. John Ettingham, brilliant.
So just 1 horse between him, and he's keeping his hands on the King George V Gold Cup. Oh, what a superb round.
The horse that took him to the horse that took him to the win in the Grand Prix in London at the International Horse Show in Excel last Christmas.
I think Mother Tara will be really proud of him today.
This is turning into something special. The Longines King George V Gold Cup, but don't think it is over. Great Britain may at the moment be on top. There's Dad Pete on the left as we look, but these guys will be acutely aware of what is to follow. And as good as that round was from Harry, do not count out this man from Belgium. It will not be over until he has crossed the line. Aretino 13 and Gilles Thomas.
High and wide, building the pace around the turn. Oh, lucky at the wall. Up in the distance, good in. Now he's got to move if he wants to catch Harry.
22 on landing over the next fence.
And he is running.
He's taking the gamble, and he's slightly quicker.
He's keeping the same pace. He's forward. and clear.
He needs
And he's moving
37
forward again.
on landing over the next one.
And he is flying.
He is faster than Harry.
Back to the, can he jump this Hickstead gate?
It is.
Yes.
Looking to put his name in the history books. No Belgian rider has won it since 1931, and now they have, because Jules Thomas and Anatina 13 win the Longines King George V Gold Cup. He punches the air. The crowd love that. At the end of the day, they want to see the best of the best come out on top, and that was what we just witnessed, John.
Absolutely incredible. And it just goes to show that when you have a horse that can run and jump, you can win these Grand Prix over these courses. And that horse took 3 seconds of Harry Charles, so we thought we were quick. Like, that is a performance.
Now look at his face. He knows what's just happened, and from the elation, that is what sport can do. 1 minute you're up, 1 minute it's just ripped away from you 2 minutes later, and that must be an unbelievable feeling for Harry. But
it is an unbelievable feeling,
but what a day, what a feeling, what a performance.
Harry had a good draw, but he wasn't last to go. So he did what he got into the lead. He did a fantastic job. But Gilles came back in, and he really knew what he had to do, and he took 3 seconds off him on that course. 3 seconds.
Well,
just incredible.
You did say under 50 seconds, to be fair, a little earlier. So, and that is exactly what we saw, a good, strong time. Gilles Thomas wins the King George V Gold Cup. And I have a feeling Hannah has him right now.
I certainly do, Gareth. We're just putting the last touches on that glorious gold sash. Gilles Thomas, you have just won the Longines King George V Gold Cup. Can you sum up what you're feeling right now?
It's unbelievable. My horse is such a massive stride, and at the luck that with 3 Belgian riders in the jump off, so they all told me, they were all 2 before me, so they all told me this line like this, that line like that. And then I saw Harry's round, and I thought, he's beatable for sure. He did 1 more than me to the last fence, and he jumped fantastic.
I mean, we had to wait a long time before we saw a clear. It wasn't until Trevor Breen, 5th to go, we saw a clear round, and then you took 3 whole seconds off Harry Charles's time. Is that just sheerly down to the stride of that horse?
Yeah, he has a massive stride. Actually, it's only the 2nd time that I ride a jump off with him. I have him not so long time for now, but it looks like he's a quick horse, yeah.
Certainly looks that way. And look, this is such a huge class, such a prestigious class. Where does this rank for you in terms of career wins?
Yeah, on top for sure. I'm still young. It's my first 5-star Grand Prix win, and here in Hickstead is an historical Grand Prix, so I'm really, really happy with it.
Always a good time to win your first, but here is super special. Gilles, we'll let you go, get back on and enjoy that lap of honour.
Thanks a lot.
So, Gilles Thomas.
off.
Yes.
Well, he's always learning, but he learned a lot today.
So you wonder, was that the second time he had the opportunity to jump him off?
Well, that was what he
Or
said in
was
the
just-
interview.
or he
His
was just
second
training,
time.
just training, but he wasn't training today. It was a fantastic performance, and he deserved to win.
Oh, no question. There will be no ability to take anything away from the performance that Gilles Thomas. But I said it at the start, as excited as I got with Harry's round, because it was great, but it was never ever going to be over until Gilles went, because he is renowned for being so fast, and he's got, like Harry's got, he's got that young hunger. As does Gilles at 24 for Belgium. There are so many brilliant Belgian riders, and he knows that he needs to make his mark, and he has done that in a big way today.
Well, if you can take 3 seconds off Harry Charles in a jump off, that was a performance.
Well, here come the prize winners, and they're in 6th place. Francisco Jose Mosquito Musa, what a week it's been for him. On the podium for Brazil in that Nations Cup. He won a class here yesterday, so superb from him. Robert Whittaker, 5th place for Great Britain on a Burt, which is a horse that I really like the look of, and Robert already a winner here in the 5-star classes this week. Trevor Breen was looking to complete the set of a Grand Slam of classes here at Hickstead. He'll have to wait on that, but I nevertheless know he'll be over the moon with the performance of Gonzalo. Number 3, Marlon Madonna, Zanatelli and Harwich VDL. It's only its 3rd 5-star show for the number 8, the Brazilian. And, well, he's finished in 3rd. Harry Charles, though, keeps going from strength to strength. He's now, well, number 14. He's off to the World Championships. He'll come back. He'll have a chance to emulate what his father did those years before. But Gilles Thomas, as I said in the commentary, looking back, 1931 was the last time that Belgium won this trophy, from what I can see. And that means today, nearly, what's that, 90 years later, we see another Belgian rider win it.
It is, Gareth. And if you were to pick a horse of the Grand Prix, you'd find it very difficult to look past the performance of Artina, wouldn't you?
I don't think you could, because not only did he jump the first round, a jump off that was asking horses to run and jump, he ran and jumped faster than the rest of them.
He surely did, and like, he wasn't lucky anywhere. It was just a really class performance.
It is, though, now the national anthem of Belgium. His first ever 5-star victory in the sport, and a day that he and we will never forget. He has added his name to a very long list of superstar riders that have lifted the Longines King George V Gold Cup over the years. Now on it will be Gilles Thomas and Argentino 13, who will now take over as the champion going forward from David Ville and Never Walk Alone, who in fact have held on to it for the last 3 years due to circumstances beyond all of our control, but for very obvious reasons. And when you go backwards, David Will, Kevin Jochems, Yuri Mansell, Billy Toomey, BC Madden, Ben Mayer, Hendrik Jan Futter, Kent Barrington, Tim Stockdale, Peter Charles, Holger Wooster, Amrik de Pontiac, Roddy Boss, Jeffrey Wells, Rennie Tebble, Kent Barrington, Ludger Beerben. The list is endless of big names in the sport. What a meeting, what a week of jumping. Heading out to congratulate them as well is the president of the ground jury, Carsten Sori, who of course was the president of the ground jury at the Tokyo Olympics last year, officiating here as he has done as part of the ground jury, and now president for many years, a part of the family here. And there is Martin Kloos, the man that will present that gold trophy. This is the bit that Gilles could have perhaps only dreamt of. Martin, who is the president of the British Horse Society, this trophy, which is part of their collection of trophies which make the Longines Royal International Horse Show the official horse show of the British Horse Society. This is the trophy that was originally presented in 1911 by King George V for international competition, and now, all these years later, it goes to Gilles Thomas and Argentino. So let's hand you back to Hannah from us here in the commentary box. We'll hand you back to Hannah Wills.
Thanks very much, Gareth. Wow, I'm not sure the horse is too keen on that solid gold trophy, but what a moment here in the International Arena here at Hickstead. A huge victory for Gilles Thomas, his first big Grand Prix victory, and he's the first Belgian rider to etch his name onto that King George V Gold Cup since 1931. A stunning achievement, and what was a truly thrilling finale to a fantastic week of action here at the Royal International Horse Show at Hickstead. From all of us though here, it's goodbye for now.
Top 5 for Whittaker once again, this time Robert Whittaker and Emmett for Great Britain in 5th. And 6th place, a super win yesterday, and top 6 here once again. Francisco Jose Musa.